Evening, afternoon, everyone. How are we? How are we? Oh, who's ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix? The race that actually matters. After we had the sprint race yesterday. Oh. Hey Bailey, good to see you. Welcome. Got my coffee, I'm ready to go. Got a nice slow roasted lamb being cooked in the oven. So I've got a nice roast dinner to look forward to once obviously this stream is over and done with. Alas, no Vol Alien has yet touched it. Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely Verstappen's as it has been to lose. Unless someone decides to send it on him into T1, gets him out of position. Hopefully Charles Leclerc, maybe Lance Stroll. We know how Stroll can be. Maybe he decides to send it on Max at the start, and because I mean he's got nothing to lose, is he? To be honest, Lance Stroll. If I was him, I would, especially if I had an opportunity to go wheel to wheel with Max. I'd just be like, yeah, elbows out. So where's Mazepin when we need it? Well, Mazepin's always would be at the back of the grid, so it wouldn't exactly help. But yes, no, welcome everyone. Just wait for a few more of you to come in, and then we will change scene. Unfortunately, the live timing data is not up and running just as of yet, so we just have to wait a little bit longer for that. But we'll do our usual pre-race discussion, just have a look at the strategies for today and the tyre allocations that people have left, where that could potentially leave some people for today's race. It's going to be an intriguing one. Interlagos, you'll like the strategies that are on offer. So, race starts on the hour. On the hour. Hey, Timo. Always throws me off when you say good morning. Merc was slow in Sector 3, disappointed. Yes, Sahal. Well, so a little bit of discussion on Mercedes yesterday. They pushed too hard in the first stages of the sprint race, which then left them with no tyre towards the end. Also, it's been documented that they've got a very draggy car this weekend. Not the normal Mercedes we see turn up in Interlagos. Even the W13 was performing better than the W14. So a miracle is going to have to happen, unfortunately, for either of the Mercedes to win this race today. I just, don't see any kind of scenario where they are quick enough to just win this race. Even if there's safety cars, they don't have the pace. They just have too much drag. They'll easily get overtaken down the main straight. So, yeah. It's like 9:34 a.m. in Canada. Your day's just starting. Sprint yesterday was great. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was interesting with Danny Ricciardo and the AlphaTauris. Obviously, the Mercedes fell off. Up front, it was just still a bit disappointing again. And the thing is today is that we're not really going to get an opportunity unless, like, once again, another miracle, unless we see Lando's out of position. Obviously, we've got the Aston Martins up front. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens today. Do you think they should reduce the DRS activation by 1 lap? I mean, with how it is with Max at the moment, yes. Yeah, because he's breaking that DRS toe in 2 laps. So, is there rain predicted? I don't think so. So, let's have enough of you are in here now. Let's go and have a look at the strategies for today. Let's. This is intriguing, guys. This is intriguing. So, I am just going to close the chat box for the time being. But you can see here that we have some 2-stopper. It's definitely a 2-stopper. Definitely a 2-stopper with there to be a potential of a 3-stopper. So some of those guys, we'll see the tyre allocations in a minute, who have actually got some fresh softs available, who have got fresh mediums, so we can get a gauge of what strategies they might be running. I don't see anyone running the one stopper. The hard tyre is just going to be too slow. I don't think it's the longest pit stop in the world. So, yeah, the one stopper wouldn't surprise me if you see George Russell go for it, because he always tries that alternative strategy. The Mercedes will be trying something to maybe hold on to track position rather than going for, say, the free stopper. If the McLarens were better in quality, it would be more interesting in terms of racing Max at front. 100%. Yeah, 100%. It's a shame they're both out of position, to be honest with you. Is there enough soft tyres for the teams, or which teams do have enough soft tyres? Well, we're going to go have a look at that right this second. So just keep an eye. So there's two varying two stoppers. We have starting on the soft tyre, then the medium, then the soft, finishing on the soft. The second two stopper is two medium tyres, and then the soft. And then we have the aggressive free stop strategy. Of course, Interlagos isn't kind of immune to safety cars in the past as well, so we could potentially get a safety car. And then, of course, that one stopper, I just don't see that working for any team. Any team. I mean, track position isn't as key at this track. So you're on the hard tyre trying to go a lot longer than someone who's going quick on the mediums. I think they'll make that pace difference up pretty quickly. But here we go. Let's have a look at the tyre allocations. So Max, once again, is like prime position for either strategy. We know how good that Red Bull is on soft tyres anyway. So he probably could use a used set of soft tyres if you really wanted to use the two stopper. With the soft tyre, but most likely he's going to go medium, soft, medium, or medium, medium, soft. Same probably for Leclerc. We'll see if either of those start on the soft tyre or if they start on the medium. That'll be intriguing. Carlos Sainz only has two medium tyres available. He doesn't have any, well, I say only, he doesn't have any brand new soft tyres available. They're all used, same as Russell, same as Hamilton. I mean, Hamilton and Russell are really at a disadvantage already. Not only is their car off the pace this week, they've got one brand new set of hard tyres and only one brand new set of mediums and no softs. So the Mercedes are, yeah, I'm intrigued to see how Mercedes does today because they're definitely not at the races. Ocon, not really too care about Ocon and Gasly, who've got 2 place grid penalties. Norris is in, he's only got one brand new set of mediums. So once again, a bit of a disadvantage to Leclerc and Verstappen. Piastri's got 2 sets of mediums, but no softs, no brand new softs. And then Stroll and Alonso, we actually have to pay attention to the Aston Martins today. Alonso has one, he has one used set of hard tyres and three brand new medium tyres. Only Alex Albon has the same amount of brand new mediums available to the rest of the grid. So that could, I mean, I'm not sure you need 3 medium tyres though. Yeah, that's a bit odd. Maybe it could help him if there's a safety car. Be able to bolt on a brand new set compared to a used set. And he's got one set of new soft tyres. So going to be an interesting race to see exactly what strategies they run. Still think Max has got the pace advantage over everyone, but behind him is going to be intriguing once again. Is there enough soft tyres for teams? Yes. Hopefully everyone looks up in turn 1 and Hammy goes through. We can only hope so. So how I like the medium soft. Yeah, I think that's probably a good strategy. Probably. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, welcome everyone. For those of you who are just tuning in, Veronica, good to see you. I'm very well, thank you. Very well. You're right about Mercedes. I'm guessing they use the softs for practice qualifying. Yeah. Yeah, they just, I mean, they've been off the ball. They're the team who have ballsed up their setup this week, pretty much. I think I read somewhere that they've actually using a bit more of a higher wing than everyone else. So they've actually lost some top line speed. They're quick in the initial stages, but however, they're cooking their tyres. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe some miracle happens during the race, but I don't see it happening for Mercedes today, guys. Hey, Random, good to see you. How long will the scrub softs go? Not long. I mean, if you think about it yesterday, George Russell did say he was predicting the softs would start to fall off around 10 laps from the end. So that's 14 laps. So I think, obviously Matt's got quicker and quicker, but I think you won't see the soft tyres go longer than maybe 20 laps at this circuit. Let's have a look at what Pirelli suggested. So they're saying, yes, laps 17 to 23 on the soft tyres. You have to remember as well that that's on probably a brand new set. They're indicating there, and the guys are running higher fuel than they were in the sprint. So just remember, the sprint's only, what is it? It's not even 50%, is it? I think it's like 35, 40% race distance, something like that. Machine Gun Kelly. He's a very weird guy, isn't he, that Machine Gun Kelly? Very, very weird. On a side note, sorry, I got distracted there, guys, listening to Martin Brundle chatting to Machine Gun Kelly. He's like fiddling around with his poppy on his on Martin Brundle's chest, and yeah, bizarre. Right, give me 2 secs. We just get a scene, and then we're going to set up for the race session with the live timing. I actually don't know. I don't know if he's I mean, it's the chattiest I've ever seen Machine Gun Kelly, but no, he's not accompanied by Megan Fox. I don't know if they're still together, actually. Not that I paid too much attention to that, but... Right, let's set up this data. Right, where are we? Where are we? Give me 2 seconds, guys. And we will be up and running. So hard, then medium, then scrub sauce and Merc. Probably, yeah. Probably. I mean, Lewis doesn't even have hards available to. I mean, Lewis is really at a disadvantage out of everyone in regards to tyre usage. So I don't know. I don't think we're going to see very much of a happy bunny for Lewis today. I think we're somehow going to need all of those tyres there today. I think it's going to be a busy race when it comes to pit stops. Wonder if Stroll's going to fall off after the first few laps, because I didn't see any race pace in the sprint from him or Alonso. Yeah, I mean, on one hand, the sprint race isn't... Oh my God, Bernie Ecclestone's on the grid. Martin Brundle. Martin Brundle mentioned the HMRC to Bernie Ecclestone. So if anyone doesn't know, Bernie Ecclestone got done by the tax man and has to pay about 400. He agreed to pay 400 million or something in unaccounted, unannounced assets, tax assets or something or whatever. Oh, yeah, that was that's quite funny actually. But yes, so I want to have a look again at Lewis's tyre sets for today. So we just said, sorry, Lewis and George do have a set of hards. I think the Mercedes might go for a one-stop today just to try something different. I think it's their only opportunity for a decent result. They obviously don't have the pace compared to everyone else, so they need to try something a little bit outside the box, and a one-stop would be that. But that one-stop would be very dependent. I mean, if they get safety cars, then they're going to be at a real disadvantage, to be honest. Hey, Mark, good to see you, buddy. He forgot to mention his £600 million in Singapore. Yes, something like that, wasn't it? It was quite a large amount that he failed to mention and had to pay out. But hey ho. Sorry, so going back to Stroll. So the thing is, the sprint race is a bit of an outlier. Yes, obviously we saw the certain individuals we expected to be at the front. Obviously the pace from Norris and Verstappen was amazing compared to everyone else. The soft tyre, no one's going to take the soft tyre that long today. 24 laps, I don't think so. It just falls off too quickly. So it's about performance on the medium tyre and with the long runs. Of course, no one's really had an opportunity to do any long runs, similar to like Circuit the Americas, because of the 1 hour practice time they got on Friday. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I reckon there may be a few shocks into the end of this race. I don't think a shock, unfortunately, is going to be at the front of the grid with Verstappen. I think we're going to see him if he gets into T1. If he gets into T1 in the lead, as he has done for pretty much the majority of this season, it's going to be a max win, because he just doesn't have, one, he doesn't make mistakes, and two, that Red Bull has been so reliable. We haven't even seen an inkling of an issue. So it's a good race from Checo. Yes, Checo's actually been, he was very pacey in the sprint race yesterday. He was pacing. He looked like he had some pace in qualifying on, I mean, he got screwed, really. He looked like he had some pace in qualifying on the Friday, but he just waited. He, like Piastri, waited until the end of that session and got caught out by the rain. And he got caught out by Piastri, obviously going off at turn 12, so he couldn't set a lap time. So who knows where Perez probably wouldn't have been on pole, but he definitely would have been probably top 3 if it wasn't for Piastri bringing out the yellow flag on Friday. Oh, that was a race in last week, Sahel? Yeah, it was a very eventful race. The guy threatened to report me. I don't think I did get reported, but yeah, he obviously called me not a very nice name and wanted to report me afterwards. So there is a full video on it if you want to check that out, buddy. Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued to see where the AlphaTauris get today. I mean, the AlphaTauris in the sprint yesterday, they were pressurising the Ferraris, both of them. So I expect to see those AlphaTauris make their way into the points today, even with the Aston Martins up there and the Mercedes. This is a bold call today, by the way, guys. This is a very bold call. But you can clip this, and I will be clipping this if this is true. Mystic Stuffy, back at it again. With Mercedes' struggles yesterday in the sprint, and the fact that they've got a much draggier car, and they're quite evidently not on the pace this weekend, I'm going to make a bold prediction that at least one of the AlphaTauris today will finish above both of the Mercedes. I don't know whether that'll be Yuki or Ricciardo, because they've both been very strong, but I think the Mercedes will finish, both of them, Hamilton and Russell, will finish behind one of the AlphaTauris. I think they've got a serious car underneath them this week. They both made driver errors on Friday, which put them out of Q1, and I think they are going to be flying through that field today. That is a bold prediction from yours truly. No chance of rain, unfortunately. Yeah, I did check the forecast earlier. As you can see there, 0% chance. Not even 5%, which is a shame. We'll spice things up a little bit. Hey, Kaz, good to see you. Long time. Any fun conspiracy theories for today? No, not really. I mean, kind of the only one is not really necessarily to do with racing. It's more to do with the sprint. You will be hard pressed to find a journalist who has access to the paddock in F1 or any sports broadcaster criticise the sprint race format. None of them will say it has to go. They'll all say, well, maybe it needs a tweak. Maybe it needs a tweak, or they'll defend it. And why is that, do you think? Is that because if they criticise it and come out and speak negatively against Liberty Media, they'll lose their paddock pass? Most likely. So, yeah, that's the only conspiracy theory for today. 2.8 was Lawrence Stroll. Had nowhere to go. He squeezed you on the apex. You did nothing. Well, I mean, I don't think he squeezed me, but I just don't think he left enough room. I think he wasn't. I think he thought he wasn't as far enough into the corner as he thought he was, and I was still there, and I was entitled to defend my position, especially on the last lap. And he just kept it too close and had an incident, and that happens always. There's potential for that to happen always in that corner, so you just have to leave a bit of extra room, and he didn't do so. But anywho, Perhaps sprint leads to added viewership instead of normal practice weekends, some more ad money. Yeah, I mean, that's their argument. Their argument at the moment is that they're branding around lots of viewership figures and saying that viewership is up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if viewership is up, is it because they're making it more preferable? I mean, I don't know. I generally don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like the sprint weekends. I don't like the fact that qualifying's on the Friday. I don't like... I don't know. And they're talking about maybe making the sprint championship its own championship? Like the sprint races its own championship? Why? What, because the drivers are going to put so much value on being the sprint champion? No. Like, I don't care. Like, the drivers genuinely don't care about the sprint. They don't. They care about the first few because it adds a bit of like championship points, but they don't. The overall, and it always will be, the overall aim and their main objective is winning the Drivers' Championship, not winning the Sprint Championship. They couldn't give a flying fuck about it, excuse my language, but they couldn't. They couldn't care. So, morning, John. Morning. Good to see you. Have Williams signed a second driver for next year yet? No. It is the only seat on the grid, but is yet to confirm their full driver lineup for next year. We know Alex Albon is definitely there, but Logan Sargent's seat is still up for debate. They haven't renewed. I can understand why they haven't renewed, because he hasn't really shown anything of them why he should still be there. So, yeah, we'll see. I think that one is going to go right down to the end of the season. You can argue that doesn't help Logan Sargent, but then he also hasn't shown enough in his performances this year to have a contract wrapped up for next year already. So, yeah, he needs to perform, really. Sprint Championship sounds like something Bernie would say. Yeah. Jimmy Broadbent is taking that Williams seat. You liked it last year when the sprint races had some meaning towards the race. Yeah, I think that's how people would... If they're going to stick with sprint races, I think that's what people would prefer. I think people would at least like it to have some bearing on the race on a Sunday. I mean, I don't know. I mean, arguably, yes, the practice sessions... It's a business at the end of the day, and they're trying to optimise every element of their business, aren't they? They're trying to make it... I get it from that perspective, but... I don't know. I'm just still not a fan. I don't know what the right answer is. I mean, for me, the right answer is to just go back to what it was before. However, you always get the argument thrown back at you. Well, would you rather watch 3 practice sessions? Well, the majority of people are at work on a Friday, so they don't watch 3 practice sessions. They watch 1, which is on a Saturday. And even if they don't watch that 1 on a Saturday, they will then watch the qualifying, and then they look forward to the race on the Sunday. So, and then the thing is as well is that would you rather, if you was at the track, me personally, I would rather see the cars on track for a longer period of time than not. So for them to have how many, like, what is it, 2 hours? Used to be an hour and a half each, and it used to be 3 hours of practice time on the Friday. But if you're going to the track, then you're seeing cars, F1 cars on track for 3 hours. Like, brilliant. But that's not appealing to people, is it? So, I don't know. As I said, I don't know. I see sides from it from a business perspective, and then as a fan, I'd like it just to go back to what it was. So, Chano, what made to Williams? You'd love to see Logan next year, though. Could at least give him 2 years. I disagree. I don't think he's done anything to warrant a seat for next year. He is at the top of the list for damages caused this year. There is a list there somewhere where you can go search for it in regards to who's caused the most amount of damage, monetary-wise. And, yeah, he's at the top of that list. And a lot of it is down to driver error. It's not down to the car. Alex Albon, who's more experienced, is able to give more feedback, better feedback to the engineers to help with development, which is very important and often overlooked in regards to the importance of a driver, and especially a driver lineup. And he's shown what that car can potentially do. He has been able to get some points out of it. He's been able to maximize its performance when it's been like surprisingly good at tracks, and Logan hasn't. Logan has always been towards the back end of the grid, not even showing that he can beat Alex. So yeah, I think they need a bit more of an experienced driver next year, to be honest with you, especially if they want to make improvements. And then they've got 2 experienced drivers giving knowledgeable feedback to help with the development. And especially as they're making improvements off of the circuit as well, with regards to manufacturing. Hopefully in the next few years, we'll see Williams move further up the grid, which is where they belong, in my opinion. One of the staples of F1. But here we go, guys. Here we go. I'll catch up with the rest of your comments in just a second. So everyone's starting on the softs except for Logan Sargent. Interesting. So obviously all trying to maximise that grip off of the start. Leclerc and Stroll are starting on a set of used. Brand new set. Did Max have a brand new set? Max, interestingly enough, does have a brand new set of used soft tyres to use, but he's decided to use a used set to start this race, although it does only have 1 flying lap on them, so it's not the end of the world for Max. Of course, we know that Red Bull is just great when it comes to managing tyres, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, everyone going bold. I'll say going bold. Everyone trying to maximise the start. And yeah, we'll see what it's going to be like down into T1. So only a couple of minutes away until the start of the Brazil Grand Prix, guys. Remember to hit that like button if you can. We're at 35 likes with 100 of you in here as we very quickly approach the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Much appreciated. If you've joined me for every session this weekend, thank you, guys. Thank you. Hopefully the race is as good as it has been in the past. Of course, with Max being out up front, it could, at least for the win, fizzle out very, very quickly after a couple of corners, to be honest with you. But I think we're in for an interesting race behind him, let's be honest. I think it's anyone's game. We wanted Norris to win yesterday, so stuff. Thank you, buddy. At least someone was trying to will it on. Yeah, it wasn't to be in the end. It wasn't to be. Maybe I'm biased because I'm Brazilian, but I think Interlagos is one of the best races of the year. Bruno, I couldn't agree more with you. It should be the season-ending race. It should be the finale. We have never had a poor race at Interlagos when it's been the finale. We've had very few drab races at Interlagos, full stop. So it should be... Everyone loves it. Let's be honest. The drivers love it. The fans love it. We as spectators love it. Everyone except Liberty Media, because they don't pay enough money as Vegas and as what Abu Dhabi does. So unfortunately, we'll never see it again as the finale while Liberty Media are in control, and of course they care about the bucks. So it would only get better if I give it cider pints. Right. That is my coffee. I am caffeined up, guys, and ready to go. As well as the drivers as they head out for their formation lap. So only a minute or so, a couple of minutes or so until this race is to get underway. George starting with a penalty. Yes, George. Well, George actually took a 2-place grid penalty. So did Ocon and so did Gasly for impeding in the pit lane on Friday. So yeah, Russell would have started 6th, but he's now starting 8th. Likewise, Ocon and Gasly would have been 2 positions higher as well. All the classic tracks are great. Yeah, I agree. Thank you once again. My pleasure, guys. Yeah, if you can hit that like button, guys, while we are on the formation lap, helps push the stream and help build this community or increase this great community we have here. So much appreciated to everyone who has come back, whether you say hello in chat, whether you don't, and you just sit there with me in your ears. It's a pleasure. As there's a double yellow flag. Leclerc stopped on the formation lap. No drama before this race has even started, as Leclerc has stopped on circuit through turn 7 on the formation lap. That is most doubtedly a mechanical issue for the Ferrari before this race has even got started. What has happened? I'm waiting for the TV coverage to catch up, but it looks like Leclerc's crawling. His icon there is moving just a little bit, and he's trying to get going. Leclerc is trying to get going as the yellow flag has been waved down now, but definitely an issue there for Leclerc. Maybe his engine cut out or something. I don't know. Absolutely bizarre. I mean, he can't get going. Leclerc can't get going. What has happened here? My TV coverage, as we know, is a little bit behind of the track map, but this is definitely going to be an aborted start because Leclerc is out there on the circuit, or at least just pulled off from the circuit and will need to be recovered. But what's happened to Leclerc? So I'm just watching the TV coverage now. They're going through that section. The TV coverage has surely got to show it. Surely. He's in the... No! Leclerc has binned it. Leclerc has binned it through turn 7 on the formation lap. Are you absolutely taking the piss? Are you absolutely binned it? Lost hydraulics. Well, that is most doubtedly a delayed start. That is most doubtedly a delayed start because the car is... He's got going again, but... Well, yeah, he initially got going again. Front wing was damaged, but I don't think there was enough for him to... So basically, if you're just joining us here, guys, Charles Leclerc has binned it. They are all gridded up there, but I don't know if the race is going to get underway. And it is green light. It is actually a green light. So Leclerc is off and we are underway as Max Verstappen has no pressure going down into the first corner. But Hamilton's made a great start there. Oh, but it already seems that there's a yellow flag in the first corner as Magnussen has come together at the first corner there. I imagine we'll probably have a safety car straight away if Magnussen's car is not able to get going again. And that's also Albon who's come together there. And it's a safety car already. What is this race? Already, not even a lap completed, and we've lost 3 cars in this race as it seems that Magnussen and Albon have come together into the first corner. Norris there gaining up 4 positions at the start and is already on the back of Verstappen. That's probably the best thing that could have happened for this race today, guys, and we get a repeat of yesterday. But Hamilton made a good start as well, launching past both of the Aston Martins. Russell's already up 2 positions, as well as Perez. Ocon's made a great start there in all of that rush, up 5 positions, as well as Tsunoda. Tsunoda's up 5 positions to 11th. Zhou's up 6 positions. Oh my God, I haven't even been able to catch up with exactly what happened with Leclerc, but this is a drama-fueled race already, guys, and we're not even completed 1 lap. So watching the replay now and just checking to see exactly what happened at the start of this race. So Verstappen, of course, had no one lining up alongside him of Charles Leclerc. And here we go. Oh, Alonso really bogged down and, well, Lando just went straight past him. Oh, that was a big contact behind. Big contact with Albon and Magnussen. And it seemed like, I'm waiting for the replay, it seemed like Albon got hit from behind. Because Albon was ahead of... No, actually, Albon was behind the Haas's. So maybe there was a bit of a bog down there at the start. And it just looked like someone got rear-ended. Yeah, they're going through the pit lane because... obviously, the first corner is covered at the moment in debris. And 2 cars of the Haas and the Williams of Albon. Oh, this is the worst race to arrive late to. I know, drama already, guys, drama. I'm waiting to see a replay of exactly what happened at the start. But yeah, there is a stranded Haas there and a Williams of Alex Albon in the wall. But Lando Norris made an unbelievable launch. Sorry. Like, that was just... His start yesterday was poor. Let's be honest, he allowed Max to get ahead and side by side into the first corner. Lando there, if he had yesterday's launch, oh my God, Max wouldn't have stood a chance. Oh, Albon's car is ruined. ruined Albon's car is. That is going to take a while to repair. It wouldn't surprise me if there's actually a red flag, to be honest with you. So just watching the restart, Alonso really bogged down. Lando and Hamilton both swooped round the outside of the Aston Martins. And the Aston Martins had to be careful of not coming together. And just looking at the overhead view, can't see still exactly what happened between the Haas and the Williams. And it is a red flag. Mystic Stuffy. Mystic Stuffy at it again. Yeah. Oh, it looks like Albon got tagged from the Haas behind. I still can't make it out. I need to see the onboard. Right, here we go. Onboard with Albon. What happened here? So Albon's made a much better start than the... Oh! Both Haases got caught up in that. Both Haases got caught up. So basically, Hulkenberg got pinched. Albon swooped around the outside, had a much better start than Hulkenberg. Then Magnussen? I still don't know which Haas it was, but actually he made full contact with, and which one survived. So Hulkenberg survived, but I don't know which one was pinched. One of the Haases was pinched by the other Haas, hit Albon's rear tyre, front wheel on... And Piastri's rear wing is broken. Piastri is out of this race. His rear wing is broken. Danny Ricciardo's also in the pits as well. I don't know if Danny's also out of this race. Oh my God, we're losing like 5 cars before the first lap has even been completed. Or 1 racing lap. Oh, Piastri's so unlucky there. It was the lightest of touches, but it's enough to really throw out his rear wing. And the flying tyre... The bouncing tyre has hit Danny Ricciardo's car and broken Danny Ricciardo's suspension. You couldn't make this up, guys. You couldn't make this up. So, to summarise this race thus far, that is, I cannot believe, that is unbelievable. That is such bad luck for both Piastri, even more so for Danny Ricciardo. Oh my God, Danny Ricciardo literally goes round the first corner and the tyre carcass drops down onto his rear tyre, breaks it. I think Danny Rick and Piastri's definitely out. I think Danny Rick is as well. He's definitely suffered damage. You couldn't make this up. This is unbelievable. Piastri is back. They fixing it. Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe they can. Maybe they can. Oh my God. Oh my God. Right, let's take a breather. Let's summarise exactly what happened, guys. I mean, we haven't even covered properly what happened with Leclerc. We haven't even covered properly. So, Leclerc on the formation lap, by the sounds of it, as reports from you guys more so than me, had a hydraulics failure, which caused him to lose control of the car through turn 7 and end up in the wall. Out of the race before it even started. Then we've had the turn 1 incident where basically Albon has got round one of the Haases, I think Hulkenberg, because Magnussen's the one who's out. So Magnussen got a good start. Albon got a much better start than both of them. Swooped round the outside of Hulkenberg. And Hulkenberg basically was being pinched by his teammate and Albon. Hulkenberg's front right tyre hit Albon's rear left. Sent Albon into a spin. Hit Magnussen in front. Magnussen hits Piastri, who's in front of him as he's spinning, which has given him damage, but he may still be able to get back out there. I still don't know whose tyre it was. Whether I think it was Albon's. The carcass of the tyre carcass of Albon's car has flown up into the air and dropped down onto Danny Ricciardo's rear tyre, as Danny Ricciardo has completely avoided all of this, minding his own business, and has quite evidently picked up damage on his right rear. Waiting to see if he's able to continue. But they're definitely looking at the right rear of Danny Ricciardo's car to make sure it's okay to get back out there. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. And we have a red flag because that Albon's car was in complete shambles and was, in the barrier. Unbelievable. And this is, it's movie stuff. Drive to Survive is going to have a field day with this. Absolute field day. But... I need to take a breather quickly. Trying to fix Oscar's car? Yeah, they will do. They'll try to. I mean, obviously, they're able to repair. Because because Oscar made it back to the pits under his own steam, he should be able, if they fix the rear wing and it's safe to do so, they'll send him back out there, same as Ricciardo. Hulkenberg, I don't know. It looked like Hulkenberg had a fair chunk of his side pod taken out. But of course, the side pods, if they have a spare part of the side pod, they're able to bolt that back on. So we'll see. But yeah, Hulkenberg definitely had a hole taken out of his side pod, similar to Perez in Spa. Remember, Lewis and Perez's. But yeah, Albon's cars are shambles. Absolute shambles. Do the repair cars unlap before start? Probably. Yes, probably. P1 Matt and Tommy, who are die-hard Leclerc fans, must be dead inside. Well, yeah, Matt goes very over the top, doesn't he, with his reactions, to be completely honest with you. So, yeah, I'm sure he's... I'm sure that'll be all over social media, because that happened before the start of the race. Can Leclerc start before the race? No. No, because Leclerc's car has been removed from the track, and he didn't make it back to the pits under his own steam. So, yeah, you have to make it back to the pits by yourself and then take the repairs. You can't have help. So, yeah, Leclerc's crash. I'm still waiting to see exactly what happened with it. But, where are all the replays? Yeah, I don't know why they're not showing the replays. They're showing enough of showing people in the pit lane. I don't need to see that. I need to see what happened. Give me the replays. Come on. Yeah, I don't know. They're just showing on balls with Sky. Oh, okay. My Sky coverage is a little bit behind, so... The clear driver of the day? Got to be. Yeah, I'm trying my best, Mel. I'm trying my best to keep everything up to date. But I tell you what, in all of that, we haven't seen exactly what the revised order is. So let's have a look. So we've got Verstappen in P1. Of course, he was unchallenged down into the first corner because of Leclerc not even starting the race. Lando made an unbelievable start. I mean, Hamilton and Norris, like, synchronized. When you watch this back, guys, synchronized, made both unbelievable starts and went straight round the outside of both Aston Martins. Stroll and Alonso must have been thinking, what the fuck? Like, both looking to their left and right, and ended up nearly coming together themselves as they were wary of both being overtaken on the outside. So yeah, Alonso and Stroll in 4th and 5th. Russell up 2 positions. Of course, one of those is due to Leclerc not starting the race, so he's up into 6th. Perez up 2 places to 7th. Sainz lost out of position there. Ocon and Tsunoda, very big winners there. 5 and 6 places gained on that first lap. Or first couple of corners, should I say. Gasly in P11, up 4 positions. Bottas up 6. Zhou, I mean, the 2 Alphas there, 6 and 7 positions after starting from basically last on the grid. Sargent's up 5 places as well. He's bolted on another set of mediums. And then we have Hulkenberg, Piastri and Ricciardo. Piastri and Ricciardo at the moment doubts to restart this race due to the damage they received. Very, very unfortunately. In that first corner incident. And Hulkenberg. I'm wondering, Hulkenberg's bolted on new tyres, so he must be okay to go again. So, I hope this all makes Charles feel a bit better. So they're Ted Kravitz is reporting. Hang up, Danny Ricciardo news. So AlphaTauri think they can get Danny Ricciardo's back out there. Oscar Piastri seems like there's a bit more damage than originally seen, and they might struggle to get the car back out there. Obviously, Ted Kravitz, pit lane reporter for Sky, is going to keep us updated, and I likewise will do the same for you as well. Leclerc crashed in turn 7. Turn 7. It's a very odd place for him to crash. And it says, just watching the race start again. So, watching the race start again, and as we saw there, both Lando, Perez, Sainz really bogged down as well. Oh, mate, that rear tyre of... The tyre, Hulkenberg literally caught the tyre and it flicked back up and hit Daniel's right rear. But yeah, it was basically just Hulkenberg got pinched. He made a slow start, Albon on his right-hand side, and he got pinched by his teammate. And then Albon was the unwitting victim, really, of it. I'm just looking to see if Magnussen had any reason to pinch. Yeah, so to be honest, that's all Magnussen's fault. There was no reason why Magnussen had to pinch there. He pinched his teammate, obviously trying to open up the first corner. But that was definitely Magnussen's fault. Just watching it on board from Ocon, who was obviously a big winner. He was right behind the crash. And he held the inside and avoided it entirely. Ocon had literally a front row seat to that. Watching Danny Ricciardo's perspective now. Danny Ricciardo just slowing down. And then that tyre bounces. And Danny, like, jinxed to move to miss that tyre. Watching Lando start. Lando's start was mega. Completely swooped round the outside of Alonso. Max made a great start as well. I mean, he was so far ahead into the first corner before they even got there. But yeah. Oof. Here we go, guys. Order restart. So, that's pretty much as you see it. And then we have... I don't know what number Piastri is, but I'm assuming that's pretty much the order you see it. So no real issues there. Yeah, Lewis made a great restart. Lance Stroll, both Aston Martins bogged down, had a bit of wheel spin. Both of them, and then they were very much looking at each other rather than looking at defending from the guys ahead. So Lance Stroll already dropped down 2 positions, as you can see there on the table. But order for the restart being noted there does normally indicate that we're very close to the race getting underway. This will mean it'll be interesting to see if they do a standing restart, which you'd expect them to do. So there's an opportunity there for Norris to have another go at Max and Hamilton, and for the Aston Martins to get it right. So there still could be more drama on the restart. I really hope they actually do a standing restart, because if they don't, that's pretty much allowing Max to control the pace and just drive off into the distance. At least there'd be the variable of him being under pressure into turn 1. But we'll see. We know that they're very risk averse. But yeah, what a launch by Hamilton. Absolutely leaves Stroll in the dust. Yeah, likewise by Lando as well. Much better improvement than yesterday. Clearly he learned his lesson from the poor start he made in the sprint race. Why can't you see the race, Rockstar? Because it would be copyright. And I would be banned from YouTube. And it's not what we do. Imagine Max stalling at the restart. Well, this is the thing. This is the possibility. So the pit lane entry is now open. We're still awaiting a time for them to get back out there. It's 20 minutes past at the moment. But, sorry. So they're reviewing Charles Leclerc now. Let's have a listen and see what was exactly the case with Charles Leclerc's crash at the start. Just looking at Charles Leclerc, weaving around. Yeah, the power steering went. The steering just went on him. So he's turning, and then the wheel just goes, just so bizarre. How has that gone? How has the power steering gone? That is a bizarre failure. There we go. We have a time. Race will resume at 31 minutes past. So that is, 10 minutes time, basically, guys. 10 minutes time is when the race will restart. Finish my rewatch, and dear God, I'm going to need a drink for this race. Yeah, it was hydraulics for Leclerc. It was a bizarre one. Absolutely bizarre. Yeah, really strange, because it's not often you see a car... I mean, didn't he lose it there a few years ago? Didn't Leclerc lose it there? So but yeah, that was just like the steering. When you watch the onboard, his steering just went... like, it's gone. Can I make the map a bit bigger? I can try. The only problem is let me make myself a touch smaller. Sorry. Press the run button. I'll make myself a bit smaller for you guys. And then I can make the chat box a bit bigger. A bit wider anyway. Oh, same problem for signs in Mexico. What did he do in Mexico? Signs. Did he crash in Mexico, or did he have an hydraulics issue in Mexico but didn't bin it? Hey Vanessa, good to see you. We lost Piastri and Ricciardo too. They're working on their cars at the moment, so Piastri is more likely to not restart this race, unfortunately. It seems to be he got a tap on the rear wing. They're trying to fix it at the moment, but it turns out there might be a bit more damage than originally foreseen. Danny Ricciardo, I think they're going to get him back out there. So I don't know if we fix the car in time at McLaren. Yeah, 9 minutes. That's my day going so far. It's been great. Yeah, it's been great. But let's just move that kind of there. So yeah, there we go, guys. There we go. Hopefully that's all right for you. Is this whole thing delaying when we eat a roast? At the moment, George, yeah, it is. It is. I might have to get you to turn the oven off if it goes on too long. Why aren't they showing the crash in the Sky live stream, Luca? They have shown it a few times. They're reviewing it actually. They just reviewed it on the Sky stream. So yeah, it was all Magnussen's fault. There was no need for him to pinch his teammate there. And, well, yeah, he obviously... I mean, Magnussen's not to know. Magnussen's not to know that Albon's got round the outside there of Hulkenberg. But it was a bit of an unnecessary pinch. He has moved over quite an amount, if you ask me there. But he's trying to optimise his entry into turn one. But, yeah, Hulkenberg had nowhere to go. The status box, unfortunately not. No. If I do that, then there won't be. You're going to lose. I'll be losing everything else. So, unfortunately, there's a bit of compromise really with what we've got. I can't increase. It's a shame. I can't increase the size of each individual part of this, which is a shame. I would. It is something that I'd like to see improved on this app that we're using, but yeah, it's what we've got for now. That was a massive hit on Ricciardo. Yeah, the tyre dropped down, didn't it? Really, it's just unlucky. So unlucky. Listening back to the team radio. Dan's saying that his rear tyre is broken. Or his rear wing. Oh yeah, the rear wing was broken. Not the tyre. It was actually the rear wing itself broke from the tyre carcass falling down. I didn't realise that first time. Carlos Sainz saying, I hope we bin this clutch as soon as we're back in Maranello. Brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah, Sainz wants a new clutch. That's great. I love how they then go, yeah, well, we'll talk about this later. Lap 1 incidents, turn 1, Albon and Magnussen noted causing a collision. Mate, Gasly was so... Oh my god, Gasly's on board. That tyre pinged off of Magnussen's car over Gasly. Oh my god, Gasly nearly got a face full of that tyre carcass there. Didn't realise how close that was to hitting him. Increased size of the timing on the left is great. Yeah, all good sizes, guys, before we continue. The unfortunate thing is that if I try and make anything else bigger, there's a compromise somewhere. That's the problem. So this is kind of as big as everything I can while still having enough information for you guys. Yeah, if I make the timings bigger, we're going to lose the notifications to the left. Likewise, like the top bit. So yeah, this is as best as it can go. This is the best balance I've got at the moment, guys. So hopefully that works for you. How long has this race been? Hope we see all the laps today. Yeah. Yeah, so apparently they're saying this is something completely different to what happened in Mexico, as one of you rightfully so said happened to Sainz. So, yeah, we'll see. Get rid of everything and just keep my face. I'm the smallest thing at the moment. And yet I'm the most important, guys. What's going on here? Listen to you while watching the live race. Oh, really? Oh, it's nice to know that I'm being preferred over some professional and reputable commentary teams. Ferrari just joyless. Science makes sarcastic comment. All they can say is copy. Well, yeah, it's optics, isn't it? I suppose they can't go, we agree with you. But reputable, yeah. Shills. There goes my future job at Sky Sports. Is Oscar restarting? Well, I guess we're about to find out as the red flag has been cleared and we are going to go back underway racing in just a few minutes' time. 31 minutes past the hour, guys, so just under 3 minutes. You basically just woke up and been away for 2 hours. Well, you joined us just in time. Come here for me, James. Just stop when the comments come up and your face cam, then you can make the timings slightly bigger. The problem is that I can't, in essence, I can only bring the timings out like this way. I can't bring them it's not like a normal window where it opens. It's something I have to do on Streamlabs, and as I said, unfortunately there's a compromise with some part of the information will be altered. So yeah, I'm hoping in the future that Multiview will be able to make kind of the individual boxes different, or at least alter the font sizes. It's not a function at the moment. I might have to suggest that. You don't need to see a detailed description. Right, standing start procedure. Yes, guys, yes. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. We wanted a standing start because this gives us the most chance of some more drama. So let's see what can occur. I'm interested to see if Piastri can get back out there. He's definitely back in the car. They're working on the car to the very last minute, so we'll see if he comes out. Told you before, Stuffeyy, your commentary is second to none. One day on F1 channel. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Let's go. Lando pit maneuver. I mean, yeah, if Lando gets a good start, obviously now Max has some pressure. He has Norris behind him. He has Hamilton behind him. Of course, Stroll lost has kind of lost the shine off of those brand new tyres. They still aren't newer than everyone else around him, though. So the Aston Martins have a second chance here to improve their race start procedure. So see if they can regain any of those positions they lost to Norris or Hamilton. But hopefully Norris can have a go on Max. And I'd like to see Norris be stronger on Max into T1 if he gets the opportunity to do so. I feel like he's always been a bit too kind to Max. It's only happened a couple of times. But I feel like whenever they've gone kind of... There's been a race between them. I say race in loose terms. So it's been a bit nicey-nicey. So come on, Lando. Let's see the feistiness that we know you have. Stuffy. I'm probably too opinionated, James. I'm too opinionated to be hired by a proper company. I think they like you to toe the company line and not really give too kind of out there opinions. So yeah. I don't think... I mean, it depends how much they'd pay me. Put it this way, guys. If I ever end up on a TV channel, and I'm working for a team and I'm holding my tongue, you heard it here now. They are paying me a lot of money to do so. So, and I have no shame in saying that, depending how many zeros at the end of that check, yes, I would rein it in a little bit. But for now, no. Lando Max might throw carbon at each other into turn 1. Maybe. I'm hoping this is a second opportunity for Lando. This time around, he's starting, obviously, from behind Max. He's starting on the inside compared to the outside, so it's roles reversed. Hopefully, we see an aggressive Lando. Because really, realistically, it's his only opportunity. The only opportunity for Lando is to force Max out of position at the start and make sure that maybe Hamilton can have a go at Max or Alonso, someone like that. And you never know. Something may happen. Something may happen, like we've just seen. Lando just has to go win it or bin it iRacing style. I feel like he almost does. Yeah. I feel like he almost does. Did you make the... not yet, Random. No. The big announcement will be coming... It's not set in... it's set in stone. Put it this way. What I'm going to announce is happening. But when I'm announcing it is kind of aligning schedules. So it's either at the end of this month or the start of next month. But yeah, you'll find out. Not long to wait, guys. Not long to wait. Never toe the company line and never hold your tongue. Zed, trust me, if there's a check put in front of you and you've got a family to feed, and I mean, how old are you, Zed? How old are you? Oh no, you're a bit older than me, Zed, aren't you? I mean, house prices are very expensive now these days. Yeah, I forgot. I thought you was one of the young... Well, you are a young'un, Zed. I take that back. I'm pausing. You are a young'un. 60 is the new 20. You're still young at 60, man. Right, here we go, guys. Here we go. Right. 60 is young, Stephen. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. So's 53. Don't worry about it, Sam. Don't worry about it. Right, here we go, guys. So, Piastri and Ricciardo are starting from the pit lane. So, they'll be rejoining at the back of the grid. It seems that they're not going to be regaining that lap, unfortunately, for them, which is a shame. Quite surprised about that. But they are back in this race nonetheless. So, here we go. They're all gridded up here. Lights are out. And it is away we go as they head down into the first corner once again. And it seems that this time around, Lando... Has he had a good start? Maybe a little bit of delay in the track map. There's a bit of overlay in there. And it does seem that Hamilton and has got past Lando. He initially did into turn 1. Is this just a delay in the track map? Come on, sort yourself out. The relative hasn't updated itself. Normally the relative is king. And yes, Lando, not as good as a start as Verstappen once again. Not as good as his first start around. And Alonso's got ahead of Hamilton there. Down into turn 4. So Alonso has massively improved on his start from before. Hamilton and Alonso going side by side through turn 6. And Hamilton is still behind Alonso. Stroll has had a terrible start once again, 2 times in a row. And he is now down into 7th place, losing positions to Russell and Perez. And is going to be under pressure very quickly from Carlos Sainz. Gasly ahead of Tsunoda there. The Alpines trying to make up some positions after a poor performance overall this weekend. They haven't looked strong at all. But here we go. So, can Lando, importantly, stay within Verstappen's DRS? Yesterday, he lost some positions at the start. He hasn't done so today. And he couldn't regain or get within that DRS of Max. If Lando can stay within the DRS, he has an opportunity of having a go at that Red Bull. So a little bit of delay there in the track map as we finally complete our first racing lap, guys, as we are watching the replay and where Lando bogged down. Hamilton made a great start. He locked up slightly, though, and good defense from Lando into T1. But right, let's go. So Verstappen is leading from Lando Norris, Alonso, Hamilton in 4th, Russell 5th, Perez 6th, Stroll 7th, Sainz not able to catch up to Stroll just yet. He seems more under pressure from Gasly than he does. He is going to put on to Sainz. Hulkenberg there with the quickest lap thus far. DRS will be activated next time around, guys. Not yet. So Lando is dropping Oh, he's just within that 1 second of Max. He needs to stay within that 1 second, and he's lost it. He has lost that DRS already to Max. Will he be able to regain it as Max is setting purple sectors? And it's going to be a fastest lap for sure for him as he's purple in the first and second sector. It will be purple in the third. And of course, dirty air is still a very big contributing factor here, guys, in these ground effect era cars. So here we go. So Hamilton is losing a bit of ground to Alonso in front. Alonso feisty. Can he catch up to Norris? Norris does. I think Norris actually has got DRS. Go on, Lando. He's nicked the DRS there, under braking into turn 1. And look at that, a 19.3. I think Max actually went deep into turn 1. So a rare mistake from Max there as he maybe had a slight lockup into turn 1, which allowed Lando to get the DRS. Now, will he be able to stay close? And how much will he gain on that Red Bull? I have seen around 6/10 has been the range where DRS and the toe is viable for an overtake into the first corner. So let's see if Lando is going to be able to close up the gap enough. Oof, come on, Lando. Come on, Lando. He is going to get it. He's lost a bit of time there in the dirty air under traction out of turn 10. Obviously, I think that's the slowest corner on the... No, turn 9 I think is the slowest corner. Maybe turn 10 is. I'm not entirely sure. But Max there with the fastest lap last time around. Let's see what they are this time. So Lando is gaining. He is gaining. Has he got enough down into T1? No. But that was, I think, about 5/10, 6/10. So we are correct. So Lando, to be able to go wheel to wheel with Max into turn 1, needs to be less than 6/10, or really about 7/10 behind. He's not going to have enough down into turn 4. He's maybe going to bide his time, stay close. I think turn 1 is really the opportunity for Lando to have a go at Max. But of course, the DRS here, if you are leading into turn 1, you, as the car who gets overtaken, will get DRS down into turn 4. So Lando will have to defend from Max down into turn 4 if he is able to overtake him into turn 1. So Alonso forming out a gap now on Hamilton. We know that the Mercedes weren't good on their tyres, specifically the softs yesterday in the sprint race. So how long are they going to stay on this first stint for? I think we could see the Mercedes be one of the first teams to actually pit. So keep an eye out on their lap times and how quickly they drop off. At the moment, they're lapping in the 1:16s. Perez is in the DRS of Russell. Russell does have DRS from Hamilton, though. Is Russell going to have an opportunity to overtake his teammate down into T1? He possibly could, as Norris is going to have a go at Max. No, but he is much closer, less than 2/10, then less than 2/10 behind Verstappen, loses a bit of rear traction in the dirty air. Here we go, this is going to be an opportunity surely for Norris down into T4. Surely, DRS open, does he think about it? No, bides his time once again. Of course, we know Max is very big when it comes to defending. It is kind of go hard or go home for Max, and well, these are two friends off of the circuit. However, Max does always want to have those bragging rights on Norris, and Norris going for that all-important first win, which he is yet to achieve. Can he do it? This is a key point of this race for Norris on Verstappen. Can he get ahead of him, and can he, importantly, maintain it? We know that those two were the quickest guys on track yesterday, as Lando's just lost the DRS to Verstappen there, but he will be within the toe. So this is the thing, in that middle sector, losing just a little bit of time in the dirty air, whereas Max is punching that hole through the air and is kind of able to control the pace. However, Verstappen has been a bit slower in that first sector, struggling a little bit down into the first corner. So here we go, Norris loses a bit of time there. Is this it? I really don't hope so. I really don't hope that this is the only charge we have seen from Lando, as he's already dropped back to 1.6 seconds. Where has that time gone? As that was a 16.7 from Lando compared to Verstappen's 15.8. Can't be having laps like that when you are trying to chase down Max in that Red Bull. Cannot do it. Cannot do it. But Alonso seems to be going quite nicely as well. He thought about, I'll tell you what, watching it on the TV, he thought about making a move on Max, but Max did defend nicely and position his car on the inside of turn 4. Norris didn't really have a lot of drive there to get round the outside. But Lando, maybe he's dropping back intentionally, but I don't think he is. I don't think Lando's dropping back intentionally here at this stage of the race. You would want to keep the pressure on Max, try and force him into a mistake, because he hasn't been put under pressure all season. Not really been put under pressure in 2 years. So with that being a rarity for Max, could he handle it? Seems to have done well so far. Hamilton train, yeah, Hamilton train at the moment. He is kind of just helping George along to maintain that position ahead of Perez. You can see there Stroll with DRS, Sainz with DRS, and Gasly. Ocon trying to close. That's Hamilton's. What's happened with Hamilton? Is this a track map issue and he is actually ahead? Yes, it is. Don't scare me like that. For God's sake. I really thought there was an issue there from Hamilton, severely down into T1. But yes, Hamilton is still ahead of George Russell. Ocon is being closed down by Yuki. Obviously, the AlphaTauris were very strong yesterday in the sprint races. Danny Ricciardo's having a race with Piastri. Maybe Danny Ricciardo, at least those two have something to fight for this weekend. Piastri on the medium tyre and Danny Ricciardo on the soft. So Danny will probably get in at some point. And there we go. So Lando, a 16.5 last time around. So Lando's had a couple of slow laps. Has he already taken too much life out of those tyres, pushing to get into that DRS of Max? Because he's dropping back quite considerably, it seems. Max seems to be super consistent. Let's see. That gap is now out to 2.4 seconds. The McLarens need to be thinking about strategy now, very sharpish, if they want to have any opportunity to make Max think about this win today. But Max controlling the pace there. Look, another a sub 16 second. Lando is actually being caught by Alonso at the moment. A 16.6 from Norris and a 16.2 from Alonso. So Alonso smells blood and is chasing down that McLaren. Is this by design? Is he trying to just look after the tyres and call them off, dropping back away from Verstappen's dirty air? I like to think so, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is, guys. Russell wants to get past. Of course Russell does. Of course he does. Because he can't overtake Lewis on merit. I like George. But, like, Russell, like, needs to get past Hamilton on his own. Hamilton's running his own race at the moment. Like, it's not the stage of the race to be let by. Like, where's Hamilton going to let him by? Russell's got Perez half a second behind him. Like, he lets Russell pass, it's going to be straight attacked by Perez. So, let's see. Let's see. Maybe Hamilton will get a move on, maybe managing his tyres, although they're definitely slow. Although, I mean, they are slow. I mean, there we go. Much better time from Lando that time around, a 16.0. Come on, Lando. Maybe he was backing off just to get some cool down his tyres. Maybe that's what he was doing. Good, let Russell pass. Why is my onboard lap not the same as live TV? In what sense? What, I'm ahead? Because this is the data. The data comes through. There's not a big delay with the TV coverage. TV coverage is always a slight, only a minimal delay. So this is always, I feel like, just ever so slightly ahead. Which is why I don't look at the TV coverage. I look at the track. I look at the data, because that is very indicative of the full picture. Whereas TV coverage, you're very limited to just what they're showing on TV. So yeah. But yes, so Verstappen is 2.3 seconds ahead of Norris. Let's see what the gap will be as they cross the line. I'm intrigued to see what Lando's lap is. Of course, we don't want him in the mid-16s or the high 16s. A 15.8 from Verstappen and a 16.0 from Norris and a 16.4 from Alonso. So maybe that was Norris actually dropping back. And I was completely wrong, and he was just trying to get out of the dirty air of Verstappen and just cool those rear tyres after having a couple of goes at him. Maybe especially on these soft tyres, you can only really have 2 or 3 opportunities or 2 or 3 laps of really running in close behind them to have a go. Otherwise, the dirty air and the track temperature and the nature of this circuit just kills the tyres. So maybe Norris is gearing himself up for another push, or maybe it's just, that's it. Couldn't get past him in this first stint. We'll have to have a go in the second or third, because it is a long race. There is going to be a minimum 2 stop, possibly 3, depending on whether they want to be aggressive or not. We'll see. We'll see. Verstappen might build a pit gap to Hamilton at this rate. Yeah, the way it's going. Alonso doing an unbelievable job today, especially when Stroll was in P7. Yeah, this is the Alonso that we saw at the start of this season, guys. When he has a car underneath him, he is able to perform, and he's doing very well. He is, look, 16.3. He just set that last lap from Alonso was the same as Verstappen and Norris. So, yeah, Alonso doing very well. Perez gets past Russell, and Russell will not be happy whatsoever, and Russell could be under threat here from Stroll. However, Perez will be under attack again from George. George had done this yesterday in the sprint race and regained a position when you get the DRS back after being overtaken in T1. They're definitely going side by side into turn 4. Is Perez able to hold onto that position from George Russell? He is. George Russell did get ahead with the DRS assistance, but Perez has been able to overtake George in T1 and maintain it down into T4. Important for Perez there. Is in a pacey Red Bull. Does seem to be a little bit more in groove this weekend. And yeah, there was a possibility he could have been in the top 3 of qualifying on Friday if it wasn't for, of course, Piastri bringing out the yellow flag with the rain. But let's see if George can have a go back at him. How much tyres does George have left? Obviously, DRS is very powerful through turn 12 all the way to turn 1. Norris now 2.5 seconds behind Max, a 16.0 from Max. How about Norris, a 16.2? Alonso, a 16.3. So those 3 at the moment in a league of their own, as the next fastest on circuit is Hamilton with a 17.0. So they're almost 7 tenths quicker than the rest of the field at the moment. So we have some guys in the pits. Ocon is the first man to pit in this race. What tyre is he going to go on to? I assume the medium. Going to be soft medium, or is he going to go to the hard? Hard's too long to go at this point, so it's going to be a medium. Early 2-stop for Ocon. They did predict Pirelli that it was going to be around lap 18 to 23. We was going to see that first pit stop. But yeah, Russell not able to gain on Perez there last time around. So Perez 17.2 last time around compared to Hamilton's 17.0. Russell, are we working together here, or are we just running our own race? We'll see. Right, so that gap, Norris maintaining around just over 2 seconds at the moment. 16.4 from Max and a 16.1 from Norris. So not good for Max there. One of his slower laps. Lost a little bit of time there. Not particularly sure why. Danny Ricciardo is on the back of Logan Sargent, trying to unlap himself at the moment. A shame for Danny Ricciardo. A shame they didn't let them unlap themselves. I'm a bit intrigued by that. Bit intrigued, as Hulkenberg has now been overtaken by Piastri. Guan Yu Zhou is in the pits. Let's see where Zhou comes out. Is he going to get ahead of Ocon as he makes his way to his pit box? Don't think he is. Ocon's definitely going to get ahead of Guan Yu Zhou there. So, yeah, Ocon... Was he ahead of Zhou? I can't remember if he was ahead of Zhou when they made that initial pit stop. But Perez closing that gap on Hamilton. Now within the DRS. And we know, like we saw in the sprint race yesterday, that Red Bull only needs to be around 7 tenths behind to be able to close the gap on the Mercedes and make an overtake into turn 1. Let's see if Perez can do that, as he is 8 tenths behind Hamilton at the moment as they head into turn 12. I imagine he's going to have much better rear grip out of turn 12, and this could be an opportunity for Perez here. Oh no, seems like he lost a little bit of time out of turn 12 rather than making it up. Is he going to have enough, though, to overtake Hamilton down into turn 1? I think he is. Oh, no. Close. He thinks about it. He will have another opportunity, though, down into turn 4. So, bit of patience. 6 tenths behind. Is that close enough? I don't think that is close enough for Perez to have an opportunity down into turn 4. You kind of really need to be around 4 tenths behind as you head out of turn 2. But Danny Ricciardo is flying at the moment. Doing really well. Doing well as Russell... Oh, Russell's getting a bit spicy on the radio. Russell is getting a bit spicy on the radio. Being asked to manage, and he's like, well, do you want me to lose positions? And they're like, yes, we need you to manage. Listen. At the coffee shop right now. He needed a toke after that start. No one lapping makes their race pointless. Yeah, it is a shame. It is a shame. Do you want me to turn the lamb down? What is the time? Sorry, guys. Not right. Maybe. Yeah, turn it down another 10 degrees, George. I've always wanted to visit a touch coffee shop. Amsterdam's a lovely place. Right, so Lance Stroll is going to be under attack by attacking Russell as Hamilton has been overtaken there by Perez. And did Perez maintain DRS? No. So Hamilton there, is he going to be able to overtake Perez down into turn 4 and do what Russell was unable to do? And Perez is definitely going to defend. Perez with the better grip. Is he able to get ahead of Hamilton? And he does. He stays ahead of Hamilton. Some great racing from Perez here, showing the type of driver that he knows he can be, and we all know he can be, that we have seen so little of after pretty much Monaco this year. And Perez overtaking and defending the position in turn 1 and at turn 4 on both Mercedes. And it'd be interesting to see now Perez is in clean air what he can do, and can he close up on that Aston Martin. But Norris there last time around, bit of a slow lap from him, a 16.5 to Verstappen 16.1. Verstappen this time around a 16.3. What can Norris set? A 16.2. So yeah, those small little mistakes just chops and changes the battle up front, but Verstappen definitely in command at the moment. As Hamilton is now into the pits, we have completed 18 laps. We are on the 19th lap, and Hamilton has pulled the trigger and come into the pits. Of course, they struggled on the soft tyre yesterday. I suppose not to lose as little time as possible. It was a great move by Perez on the inside of Hamilton, though. I definitely went wheel to wheel. How about the defence from him into turn 4? I don't need to see the fans. Show the race in action, please, race director. And it was a simple defence from Perez on Hamilton down into turn 4. So Hamilton is now out onto the medium compound tyre for this middle stint. So no one-stop race for the Mercedes. Maybe George Russell might try and do something different. I don't know. Still don't think he'll be able to. But you know what Russell's like. He likes to try that alternative strategy. Who is going to pit first out of Verstappen, Norris and Alonso? I imagine it'd be Alonso, as Alonso is dropping back a little bit from Lando. He's now into the mid 16s compared to Verstappen and Norris, who are just getting quicker and quicker, to be honest. But Alonso is still quicker than that of Perez, who is now in clean air. And George Russell comes into the pits as well. So one lap after another, the two Mercedes have decided to pit for this middle stint. The first of what is going to be a minimum 2-stop race, because this medium is definitely not going to make it to the end. Hamilton trying to undercut Perez. Possibly. Yeah, possibly. We'll see if they respond with Perez. They might keep Perez out there, depending on how good his tyres feel and what lap times he can set. 16.9 last time around wasn't particularly great in clean air, though, from Perez. You'd expect him to be in the low 16s and be able to catch Alonso. So we'll see. We'll see if he decides to extend this stint compared to Hamilton and Russell. Hey, David, good to see you. Love when they pull away from an overtake to show us the crowd for 10 seconds. I know, right? I know. It's terrible. Right, just show us the racing. We don't need to see the crowd. Lando being told, let's pick up the pace a little bit. So Alonso staying out there. Alonso staying out there as Bottas goes fastest in the first sector on a brand new set of mediums. Does Perez come in? Perez has come in. So they are responding to the Mercedes drivers. Of course, Perez then not able to go as quick as he would have liked on those soft tyres. They are covering off the Mercedes. Can Perez stay ahead of the Mercedes, though? I think he will. I think he's pulled out enough of a gap. Of course, he's going to rejoin out of the pit lane into turn 3. Here come Hamilton and Russell. It could be close. Could be close on both of them as they come round turn 1 here. Have they done the undercut on Perez? I think this is going to be tight. I think they've just got ahead. Hamilton has got ahead of Perez. Has George been able to catch Perez? It's going to be close as they head down into turn 4. And this is a right fight here. Of course, Perez is going to have the extra fresh set. But a good response there from the Mercedes team to get at least one of the Mercedes back ahead of the Red Bull. But how long will they be able to keep him behind? We're in a bit of uncharted territory now because we've only seen these cars on the soft tyres with the sprint race yesterday. Very limited amount of running, of course, with that one practice session on a Friday. So still kind of expect Perez to get past Hamilton because the Mercedes is very draggy here this weekend. The setup isn't quite right. They haven't nailed it. So Perez will probably make short work of the Mercedes. As Hulkenberg, though, giving Lewis probably a bit of an assisted DRS, which should help Hamilton if he can get ahead of Hulkenberg into T1. Let's keep an eye on this as they head down. Hulkenberg dives into the pits, and that's not going to be ideal for Hamilton. But Hamilton, with the DRS, is able to defend from Perez. But I suspect Perez, with brand new tyres, will be able to stay close with Hamilton and have an opportunity down into T4. Let's see if he's able to. 6 tenths behind. Does seem like he lost a little bit under rear traction out of turn 2. And Hamilton is able to defend and last just for one more lap. Hamilton got a problem front left. Yeah, he did say it's pulling a little bit to the right. So we'll see if that issue develops. But seems to be okay at the moment with a 15.5 last time around. Perez, though, is definitely going quicker. I mean, he's not dropping back from Hamilton whatsoever. And, well, he needs to make this move quickly because if you don't, we know how much the tyres do just fall off if you stay within that dirty air. So Perez needs to make short work of Hamilton, and I think he will do. Hamilton not got any DRS assistance this time around as Lance Stroll dives into the pit lane. The first of the Aston Martins. None of the top 4, well, Sainz obviously and Gasly are some way back, but none of the top 3 have yet to make a pit stop. Here we go. Perez gets ahead of Hamilton before they're even into the first corner. And Perez, well, actually, did he? Track map is a little bit delayed, I think, as I think Perez is definitely ahead of Hamilton. Unless Hamilton did stay ahead of Perez there. He did. Hamilton did stay ahead of Perez, but that did give Perez the DRS down into turn 4. They probably went side by side through the center S's, and Perez gets the move done importantly for him to be able to plough on with the remainder of his race and in this stint. Showed signs as Perez exiting the pitch. They always do. They always do, don't they? So, right, let's have a look at the top 3. Let's catch up on those gaps. So, Verstappen currently P1, 3.5 seconds ahead of Lando now. Alonso, who is 5 seconds behind Lando. He is dropping back, lapping in the mid to high 16s now. And Sainz is lapping around the same. Those 3 definitely in a league of their own at the moment. Interested to see what the McLaren do. Does the Red Bull pit first? Does seem to be a bit of a gap there now. Of course, I think they would come out. Would they come out behind Gasly or Sainz? Maybe it's still a little bit too tight with those two. Maybe they're waiting for those to pit before they do. Seem to be controlling the pace and do seem to be the fastest guys out on track, even after these new pit stops to medium tyres and soft tyres of others further down the grid. Guan Yu Zhou is retired. Oh, is he? I mean, sorry to say it, guys. I'm sorry if you're a Guan Yu Zhou fan, but do we really care? Like, hasn't really done much for a while, was he? But, hey-ho, back on with the rest of the race. It's not that I don't like him. I actually quite like him, but it's just the fact of it. Do we care? It's an Alfa Romeo. So, but Yeah, it's like a Haas retiring. With all due respect, sorry, it's like you're not really bringing much to the grid at the moment. It's like with the Andretti team where they say, "Oh, we need. Oh, if another team comes to F1, they should add value. They should add value." Well, what are you bringing to the grid at the moment? Like Haas, like apart from taking people out and just finishing at the back of the grid most of the time. Like, just saying. But yeah, that's what you come here for, guys. Unfiltered opinions. You won't get that on Sky Sports. So right, let's catch up with the rest of this race. As we've got half of the field probably taken pit stops now, and we've got a few out there trying to keep these soft tyres and extend this first stint. So Verstappen out there now, 3.8 seconds ahead of Norris. Norris's tyres just not able to stay that close with Max. We do know the Red Bull has been supreme with, I mean, not only is it a quick car, it's been so, the reason why they win with the advantages that they have done is because they're able to make those tyres last long. They're able to go faster for longer than other teams, which is kind of what we're seeing at the moment. Norris is trying his best though, so he's still making Max think about it. One mistake from Max and Lando will be there to pounce. As Alonso makes the first of those top three to come into the pits. Where is he going to come out? I think Alonso's going to come out ahead of... Is he going to come out ahead of Perez? He is. He's going to cover off Perez, and he is ahead of Perez, which is good for Alonso. Of course, Aston Martin's aim today will be about getting that podium finish, which they haven't had since... Ooh... Do remind me, guys, where he last got a podium. Can't remember. It was definitely the first half of the season. I can't remember, though. I can't remember. Canada? Was it Canada then? Canada. Okay, yeah, that was a while ago, wasn't it? Yeah. Unfiltered opinions, yeah. Lando should have pitted. I don't know. Well, the thing is, Lando has... Let me just have a reminder, guys, and check what tyres Lando has remaining. So, Lando has... two brand new... Lando has one set of medium tyres remaining, whereas Max has two. He has one set of hard tyres remaining. So Max is in... Not only has he got a lead, he's also got an extra set of new medium tyres available to use. And he's also got a... Obviously, I think he started on the brand new set of softs anyway. So, yeah. He's kind of at a disadvantage already, so he's trying to extend this stint so that he can obviously make the most out of those medium tyres. But Lance Stroll has got ahead of Hamilton now. Lance Stroll ahead of Hamilton as Sainz has come into the pits, and wow, the Mercedes struggling. Lance Stroll flying in the 15s there, a 15.7 for Stroll. Of course, DRS assisted, but regardless, that is a great time for the Aston Martin. Maybe Lance Stroll coming alive in this second stint. Maybe he can pressure... I mean, with that pace... well, I say with that pace, he could pressure Perez. Perez has just done a 15.7, so maybe not. Maybe not. But, yeah, Stroll... I mean, the Mercedes definitely way off the pace. Look at that, 16.7 from them. As Verstappen and Norris pit at exactly the same time... Let's see. Red Bull, of course, have been very good with their pit stops. Doesn't seem like there was any delay there with Max's pit stop, as they have been all season, or the last two seasons, to be honest, or last however many seasons. McLaren was an okay pit stop, I think. Looked to touch longer than the Red Bull, I think. Let's see the gap as they come out. Does it maintain at 3.4 seconds? If it doesn't, then we know that the McLaren pit stop was slightly slower. And the gap Lando definitely had a slower stop because the gap is now extended to 4.7 seconds where it was 3.4. So the McLaren there losing even more time in the pit stop compared to Verstappen. But intriguingly, guys, the McLaren has gone on to another set of soft tyres compared to Max, who is on a set of mediums. Of course, Max with those two brand new sets of mediums to use. Norris with only the one set. Oh, apologies. He's actually out on a set of mediums. So they are level playing at the moment. But yeah, a bit of a slow stop there from McLaren, it seems. I'll wait for the TV coverage to find out exactly how long those stops were. But yeah, that is another reason why Red Bull have just been so dominant. You can't even make up times in the pit stops because they just don't make mistakes. It's they don't really have an over a 3-second pit stop. So let's have a look. Pit stop time. Red Bull did a 2.2 second pit stop. Wow. Whereas McLaren had a 2.6. So they lost 4 tenths in the pit stop alone. And then I'm assuming Lando was maybe a bit more hesitant on the exit of the pit than Verstappen was, and lost 1.4 seconds. There we go. That is just amazing. It's a team game as well. Like, they just don't falter. They don't falter. Perez pushing and catching Alonso. Yep. Hang on. Just checking Ferrari's pit stop. 2.3. Oh my God. Nearly came out on the AlphaTauri. But a good pit stop from Ferrari. A 2.3 second pit stop from them. So definitely an area they've improved. They just need a better car that can last, keep up the pace for the majority of the race and not kill their tyres. Right, so let's have a rundown of the grids as it stands at the moment, the race standings, as everyone has now made a pit stop. We have Verstappen in P1, 5.2 seconds ahead of Lando Norris now, pulling out even further of a gap in that pit stop. Verstappen, definitely his to lose. He has another set of medium tyres to use at the end of this race, brand new set, which will just obviously help him pull out even more of a gap on Lando. Lando does seem to have commanding pace over the Aston Martin of Alonso, who's in P3. Alonso currently being caught, though, by Perez. A 15.8 last time around from Perez compared to Alonso's 16.1. So Perez will catch Alonso in the next few laps, it seems, with his pace he's currently setting. Lance Stroll, 8 in P5. Also lapping quicker than his teammate at the moment. Seems to have come a bit more alive in this second stint on the medium tyres. Hamilton in 6th with Russell very close behind, both on a set of mediums. Lapping almost identical at the moment. I wonder if there'll be team orders at play or if they're working together. We will see. Will they be allowed to race? Who knows? Obviously, George will be very quickly on the radio to say, let me past, as he's already done so once this race. Sainz is in 8th at the moment, kind of no man's land after Charles Leclerc. Only Ferrari out there after Charles Leclerc. Hydraulic failure caused him to crash into turn 7 on the formation lap. We have Ocon in 9th position at the moment, just ahead of Bottas and Gasly. Sargent is in P12, not doing too bad for him, considering he started at the back of the grid. Tsunoda is ahead of Ricciardo, who is lapped at the moment, as well as Piastri. A real shame for those that they weren't able to unlap themselves. And then we have Hülkenberg, who is in 14th, just lucky to still be out there. And then we have 4 retirees of Guan Yu Zhou, Magnussen, Leclerc and Albon as we reach 31 laps in this race. In before spicy Russell Hamilton drama. Yeah, I tell you where there could be drama. Ocon and Gasly, again, are very close together. Very close together. If you look at them, we know things have got spicy between them this year already. I think that's kind of been glossed over a lot this year, really, the Alpine drama between Ocon and Gasly. So we'll see if anything happens there. Gasly will feel quite aggrieved about the red flag in Mexico. He was going quite well, and Ocon really benefited from the red flag coming out when it did. Kind of goal hanged for a safety car, and yeah, ended up finishing ahead of his teammate. And well, yeah, had ample opportunity to get past Hülkenberg. Couldn't do it. He did eventually, and Gasly just had to sit there, wait patiently, and then dispatch Hülkenberg within 1 lap. So yeah, I imagine Gasly will be chomping at the bit to get ahead of his teammate today and get a bit of bragging rights. That gap from Perez to Alonso, less than 2 seconds now. Another 3 tenths taken out of Alonso's lap there. Interestingly, Lando, 15.5 from him compared to Verstappen's 15.7. But we do know kind of that's a very large gap as it stands. As Ocon dives into the pits. Oh yeah, Ocon pitted quite early. But that seems very... That's very early for Ocon to be pitted there, guys. That is early. On that second stint, we've got 40 laps remaining. He must be going to a hard tyre. Is he going to a hard tyre, Ocon, to the end of this race? We'll see. What's he come out on? I'm intrigued. That seems a bit of an odd pit stop. Well, he has one set. He has another set of mediums too. So unless they're going for the free stop. Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah. No, I'll tell you what. Ocon's bang on the money for a free stop here. What's he just come out on? Softs. Oh, yeah. Ocon's doing the free stopper. Like it. Like to see someone at least try it. Oh, we're interested. Keep an eye out on Ocon, guys, and we'll see where he comes in. Ocon should be... If Pirelli's... at the moment, they're bang on pretty much Pirelli's predictions for the free stopper. He should be pitting on around lap 50 to 56. I probably expect him to go to like lap 56, 60, and then do one more stop to the end. But, interesting. Didn't think they'd be using that today. You're pleased you only use £40 a year for Sky. That's £40 a year. It's not bad. Danny Rick is a minute behind Hulk. It just hit me. Yeah, it's a real shame. It's a real shame. I mean, and he can't overtake Tsunoda because Tsunoda's actually in a race. Like, Tsunoda's trying to get ahead of Sargent, catch up to Bottas. Even though it looks like Danny Rick could probably overtake Tsunoda. But yeah, he just has to sit patient. That's the most annoying feeling, I imagine. So Sainz is catching up to the back of the Mercedes. He is on fresher tyres at the moment, so there could be a fight happening. Russell is going to be on the radio. Wait for it, guys. Fireworks are about to happen between Hamilton and Russell. Russell's going to be saying, let me by! Let me by! Because he is going to be under pressure. Well, he's under pressure from Sainz. It's not about he's going to be. He is under pressure from Carlos Sainz at the moment. Perez, once again, closing that gap. Lap by lap to Alonso. A 15.8 from Alonso. A 15.6 from Perez. So he's closing. He is closing. I think next lap around, or maybe at the end of this lap, Perez will have DRS on Alonso. A good performance from Perez thus far. Right on cue. Right on cue, George Russell. He just happens to goes, I haven't been on the radio because I thought it was quite obvious about the pace. And no response. No response from the Mercedes engineers. Sassy George. Sassy George. Get a fire stick. Yeah, there's some options out there. Tsunoda is head of Logan Sargent now into turn 4. It's going to be a bit of a tricky one for Ricciardo because he's a lap car. He has to be careful about unlapping himself. Of course, he's in a fight with Piastri as well. Piastri will be wanting to catch him up and overtake him. So we'll see what happens there. Keep an eye out on that. But Sainz on the back of Russell now. Definitely within DRS. I tell you what, Russell is going to get overtaken here by the Ferrari, who does have much younger tyres than the Mercedes. Here we go. This is done deal. Done and dusted. Jules doesn't have DRS to Hamilton. He's dropped back a little bit. And this will be an easy overtake for the Ferrari down into T1. Will George have a go back at Sainz, though, as they head down into T4? I don't think so, because I think Sainz, did he get DRS there as they went across the activation line? No, he did briefly. He did briefly get within Hamilton's DRS. But yeah, Russell not able to get on Carlos Sainz there. So yeah, the Mercedes, poor weekend from them. Just don't have the setup, don't have the car. But Norris and Verstappen pretty much lapping level at the moment. It's a shame that obviously Max is that much, just a little bit quicker. But that McLaren doing well to stay as close as it is with Verstappen. 5 seconds is the gap now. Perez nearly within that DRS. Can he get within the DRS under braking? No. So I think turn 4, though, he'll have a good opportunity. Maybe to close the gap and get DRS activation. Hamilton already reporting he's struggling with the tyres, man. They are so poor this weekend on the tyres. It's really bad. Logan Sargent unlapped by Ricciardo and Piastri. Wow, that's got to hurt him. It's got to hurt him. Perez might overtake. Yeah, it's definitely coming. He's interestingly not in the DRS now. Don't delay track map. Come on. Sort yourself out. Bit of a delay there, guys. Apologies with the track map. But yes, Perez, as we were saying, 1.2 seconds behind Alonso. Alonso maybe just put a bit of a move on. He's still around 2 tenths slower than Perez. I think it's this middle sector where Perez is making up all the time here. Let's keep an eye out on that interval. Surely that's going to be highlighted full green soon, and he's going to be in that DRS. Turn 10 is really where he's going to have the rears underneath him, surely. No, maybe not. So Perez now getting into the... I mean, he was catching in clean air, but now he's got into the dirty air. Not as effective as being able to get past Alonso. That 2 tenths difference is just keeping him back. As a great lap by Lando there, 14.8. Knocks off about half a second nearly there on the gap between him and Verstappen. But of course, still 5 seconds pretty much in hand for Verstappen on Lando. But Sainz closing the gap on Hamilton here. He's got DRS open. How much is Hamilton struggling? Is he going to concede this? Down into T1. Oh, Sainz thought about it. Very big overdrive there. Of course, Sainz will get DRS again as they head down into turn 4. And I don't think there's anything that Hamilton will be able to do about this. Sainz is definitely within range here to make a move on Hamilton. Here he goes. Does Hamilton defend? And no, he doesn't, because Sainz has enough speed to get ahead of Hamilton before they even got into turn 4. And yes, Mercedes Day just gets worse. 35 laps remaining, guys. Just about halfway through this race now. Only halfway through. Feels like so much has happened. But Verstappen responding to Norris's fastest lap last time around with a 37.9 in the middle sector. Let's see. This is going to be purple lap for Max. Trading fastest laps, Lando and Verstappen at the moment. Bit of a slower lap for Norris this time around, a 14.9. So, yeah. Verstappen took that personally, that purple lap being taken away from him by Lando. Oh, guys. Only 34 laps remaining. I say only. I mean, in fact, we're only halfway through this race. Can't beat Iron Brew. Iron Blue! Don't you consume, like... Isn't something like 95% of Iron Brew's consumption is in Scotland? Like, there's like a ridiculous, like, fact about that, or stat. My prediction for the AlphaTauris, or at least one of them, finishing ahead of both Mercedes. Yes, that was my bold prediction. Tsunoda's catching. Tsunoda is catching. What did he do last time around? A 15.6 compared to Hamilton and Russell. I mean, they're gone. They are dead. They are. Look how bad. Right, so let's put this in perspective, guys. This is how poorly the Mercedes are struggling here. Russell, okay, Hamilton got overtaken last lap, so it was a bit of an outlier of a 17.5. But Russell was 16.7. I think Hamilton will probably be in the 16s again this time around. Gasly a 15.9, Tsunoda a 15.6, Ocon a 15.8. Okay, he's on softs. Ricciardo on a 15.4 on mediums. Stroll a 15.8. Sainz a 15.9. They are so far off the pace relative to everyone else who's on a medium tyre at the moment. Gasly is chasing down Russell at the moment. A 16.3 for Hamilton last time around and a 16.6 for Russell. Gasly a 16.0. Tsunoda a 15.8. Bottas doesn't seem to be pretty quick on the mediums at the moment. And where's Danny Rick? Danny Rick's already crossed the line with a 15.6. So yeah, they're so far off the pace. They're just going to... I tell you what, I tell you this now, the Mercedes could finish outside the points today. The way it is going, both of the Mercedes could finish outside the points because they just cannot keep their tyres alive. They're going to have to do a free stop because they can't keep their tyres. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they try and go into the hard just to see themselves through to the end. Coke is #1 in every country except Scotland, which is Iron Brew, right? Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. Tizer. I remember Tizer. Is Tizer still a thing? Is that still around? Have the Mercs left the cars in reverse? They have just, yeah. They've ballsed this up this weekend. Ballsed it up. Sack Sky's commentators get stuffy. I'm up for that. Oh, guys. Right, well, quite a lot of field spread here as we are in the middle of this race. Just over halfway through now. And, well, if anyone's going to do a free stopper, we'll see those pits. Well, we should have seen those pit already, to be honest with you. Let's have a look just what Pirelli suggested the 2 stopper was, so you know when to expect the laps, expect the next pit stops to be made. So they were predicting either lap 46 to 54. So there's almost like a 10-lap window there, 8-lap window. So we've still got another 5 laps until we probably start seeing those 2 stoppers come in and pit. As Bottas comes into the pits early, his pace did seem to be dropping off quite substantially. So you can tell whose tyres are falling off, guys, and the cars which are struggling with tyres because of their lap times. So Hulkenberg is, well, on 21 old lap tyres. He's on 17.6. Obviously, the 2 Mercedes we know are struggling. But Gasly just getting into that dirty air range of Russell. So it really does seem to be around the 1.2 to 1.3 second mark is when the cars really start to feel the dirty air and they start to struggle under rear traction, because you start to see their lap times are matching the car in front, compared to just like catching and then overtaking. Although Gasly, with a bit of a DRS assistance, has closed that gap on Russell. But you can see there the interval is just moving out a couple of tenths or so out of the corner, which means he's struggling to get power down and get the grip through the rear tyres with just a little bit of loss of downforce. Bottas retire the car. Both Alfa Romeos are out. And I'll repeat, like I said with Guan Yu Zhou, who cares? Moving on. Verstappen in P1, gap to Norris now, 5.3 seconds, is maintaining. They're pretty much doing similar laps at the moment. Alonso, after a good, strong first stint, has fallen back 14 seconds behind Lando. Interestingly, Perez has had to drop back for a few laps, guys. Definitely strategic to call off the tyres and make these medium tyres last that bit longer, because he's now dropped out to 2 seconds. Just so that he's able to manage the tyres, cool them down, and then have a go on Alonso a little bit later on. George Russell is the closest now. Him and Gasly are pretty much closest on this circuit, as there's quite a large field spread. Danny Ricciardo, of course, probably is quicker than his teammate Tsunoda. However, he's lapped and has to stay where he is. Piastri, a very lonely race for him. Both of those two, so unfortunate, man. It's so, yeah, can't believe it. But yeah, Russell and Gasly is really where we need to keep an eye on at the moment in this middle part of the race. Lewis speeding up? No. 16.3 last time around. We'll see what his lap time is this time, but it's just not anywhere on pace of where it needs to be. He's a full second slower than Verstappen and Norris on the same tyre. Of course, they are older. But the Mercedes just, yeah, can't. Similar to the sprint race yesterday, guys. Tyres are just, they're eating them up. Gasly's a lot closer now to Russell, less than 6 tenths, so I think Gasly could have an opportunity here. If not down into T1, he will have an opportunity down into turn 4, and I think Gasly, maybe Russell's even lifting. Gasly absolutely streams past Russell there down into T1. Of course, Russell, as we know, will get the DRS back, but I don't think Russell even has the grip to be able to stay with Gasly. I could be wrong though, as, oh, let's see, we go. Russell, is it going to get feisty? Is it going to go back at Gasly down into T4? No, definitely not enough for him. So Gasly pushes Russell down another position, and Tsunoda will be the first of the AlphaTauris to get ahead of a Mercedes if he is able to do so. A little bit out of sequence, Russell and Tsunoda, though, with pit stops. So Russell will most likely come in and pit first compared to Tsunoda. But go on, Yuki. I want my prediction to be correct, as much as I like Mercedes. Is Rick and Piastri weren't a lap down, Mercs would easily have been out of points. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think so. Definitely. What's that? Spilt Lucozade is stronger than Flyer paper glue. What's spilt Lucozade? Did I remember Fergusade? Oh my god! All the cheap knockoffs. always remember going into a nightclub and drinking vodka Red Bull. What a drink, guys! What a drink. And it wasn't Red Bull; it was like the cheap stuff, like Boost. Is it Boost? Oh well, while we're in the middle of this race, guys, as everyone seems to be kind of managing their tyres at the moment, if you could hit that like button, it'd be much appreciated. We're only 5 likes away from hitting 100. It's always an aim to get over 100 likes. Helps push the stream and helps to continue and build this great community we have here. Verstappen still first. Yeah, Verstappen first, Norris second. Alonso really far off the pace now. 16 seconds nearly. Perez dropping back just to cool off those tyres, manage those mediums. Stroll is 5th, just plodding along. Sainz. How about Hamilton last time around? 16.5 compared to Hamilton seems to have picked up a little bit of pace relative to Gasly. A 16.6 from Gasly last time around, a 17.7 from Russell. Tsunoda 16.2. Let's have a look at those times as they cross. So 17.2 from Hamilton there, a 17.0 from Gasly. 17.4 from Russell. Tsunoda did a 16.1. Tsunoda just cut off nearly 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds in that last lap on Russell. Tsunoda's going to have Russell here if he doesn't pit. Not really. Well, Alonso's... Hang on. So Alonso was told... Alonso was tyre saving. He's now been told to use the grip. So Alonso will be putting his foot down now, I imagine, as he did a 15.8 last time around. So that's indicative of that message he just received. Perez is just kind of in tyre management at the moment of this race. Dropped out of the dirty air of Alonso and just trying to extend his stint. He is on older tyres, so obviously had more positions to make up. But yeah, there's definitely a fight for the podium here between Alonso and Perez. Verstappen and Norris, I mean, the gap's now gone out to 6.2 seconds. That's done and dusted unless Max has a mechanical failure, but we know that Red Bull is extremely and annoyingly, guys, annoyingly reliable. Just an all-round world team performance, to be honest. As Tsunoda in the DRS of George Russell, and Russell dives into the pit lane. As I said, the last lap around, he would have been overtaken by Tsunoda if it wasn't for... Russell having to dive into the pit. So those tyres absolutely dead. 26 laps on the mediums. And, well, Russell will be out of the points at this moment in time. Of course, others will need to make their pit stops. Gasly reporting a brake issue. So is that going to be another reliability issue for the Alpine and a retirement from them? They've had so many retirements this year, haven't they? Got to be the most unreliable car on the track. Hey, Tom. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Someone tell Verstappen to crash. Monique. What? Oh, okay, I'll tell you what, guys. While we've got a little bit of... Oh, as Perez dives into the pit lane, guys. Perez dives into the pits. 25 laps on his mediums as well. George has gone on to softs. Shh. Hamilton is told... He's saying, I don't know if it's gusty, but the car is so bad in the air. As Hamilton now comes into the pits. So we're seeing some pit stops now. Gasly into the pits as well. Hopefully not a reliability issue. And it is just an actual pit stop to respond kind of to the Mercedes. Because I think Gasly's got a good opportunity to overtake the Mercedes on merit here today. Perez is coming out just behind the AlphaTauri of Tsunoda. He's on a set of softs. That should see him to the end. Ocon is going to come out ahead of Hamilton. He'll be in the pit soon though because he's on 18 lap. He's doing a free stopper. But yes, so let's have a little roundup, shall we, of what happened at the start. Oof. What happened at the start, guys? What happened at the start? Well, it started off with the formation lap with Leclerc basically going around turn 6 and 7, and his hydraulics of his steering wheel failed. So his steering wheel basically snapped to the left and he ended up in the wall. So Leclerc out before the race has even started. No fault of himself, complete mechanical issue. We then had a lap 1, turn 1 incident with basically Magnussen pinching Hulkenberg, who had a poor start. Albon went round the outside. Magnussen moved over. Didn't realise Albon was on Hulkenberg's outside. Hulkenberg's front tyre hit Albon's rear. Albon went into Magnussen. They were both out. Magnussen hit Piastri in front of him, broke his rear wing, and Hulkenberg basically went over the tyre carcass but flew off of Albon's car, I think it was, or Magnussen, one of the two anyway. And then that pinged off behind him and hit Danny Ricciardo's rear wing and broke Danny Ricciardo's rear wing. So basically the tyre went up in the air. Danny Ricciardo, minding his own business, hit his rear wing, broke his rear wing. And unfortunately, they had to pit a lap earlier while the safety car came out, which was out for like 2 or 3 laps. Red flag was shown. They was able to repair their cars, but they were not able to unlap themselves because of this. I don't know why, actually, to be honest. They weren't unable to lap themselves. I thought they would have done. And they had to start from the pit lane. And unfortunately, that's ruined their race through no fault of their own. Real unfortunate. And yeah, this is where we are at this moment in time. Machine Gun Kelly has left. Commentators having fun with it. I wonder why he's in Brazil. He must be doing a tour or something. It's very odd for him to be. Hamilton! Fastest in the first sector. Mercedes fans, take it while you can. It's the only high you're getting today. It's the only positives. Can we make a concept OD podiums? 1 podium with first place to Max and 2nd podium for P2 for yeah. Well, the betting odds have literally... The betting odds are outright winner and then literally it's everyone but Max. Like, they're like, who's going to finish behind Max? Like, who's going to be first, basically, if you take Max out of the equation? That's how they treat it. But Gasly is flying. Absolutely flying. A 14.5 from Gasly last time around, putting Hamilton's purple middle sector to shame. He's taken out half a second on Hamilton there in that first sector, and Hamilton is reporting we should have gone to the hard tyre rather than the soft. And I think I have to agree with him, because I don't think Hamilton is going to make it to the end of this race on this set of softs. Not with the way their tyres are managing at the moment on that Mercedes, but Gasly should be able to make short work of Gasly. Verstappen going to lap Russell. Is he? He is, yeah. Verstappen will lap Russell. I mean, Verstappen's got to come in and pit. So I think Verstappen and Norris will be coming into the pits probably round about now, to be honest with you. Gap is 7 seconds now between Verstappen and Norris. Check in on that every now and then. Here we go. Gasly's going on Hamilton. This is easy peasy for the Alpine. And look at that. Done and dusted before they even got into the first corner. Done and dusted. Gasly seems to be really in the groove here. He's picked up the pace. Will Hamilton have a go back at Gasly, as we know, down into turn 4? Return to send a DRS. Ooh, he's going to have a go. No, Hamilton doesn't have enough. Mercedes real struggling here today. So, where have we got Perez and Alonso? They're kind of the two to keep an eye out on, really. I think that could be the tastiest fight. Alonso 15.5 last time around, whereas Perez did a 14.9. So I think Perez definitely sees an opportunity now to get a move on, going to the end on this set of tyres and have a go at Alonso. Come on, Perez, give us some joy, because there's not a lot occurring out on track at the moment. The field is extremely spread thin. It's embarrassing to watch Merc get their asses smacked by everyone. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they've got it so wrong this weekend. The car is extremely draggy, completely taking life out of the tyres. They've got it so wrong. So wrong. Do I think Lewis was robbed of his 8th championship? Yes, is the short answer to that. Right. What else is occurring? Ocon closing in on Gasly to crash them both out. Yeah, well, Gasly still yet got to pit. He's on a free stopper. He seems to be the only person out there I think has committed to a free stopper. So they have poor tyre. Well, the reason Merc have poor tyre management is because they've set up the car to be I don't know. They've set up the car to have more downfalls. I think they've got quite a loaded rear wing compared to others this weekend. It's been a mistake. They're actually, to make up for time, science is in the pits, as to make up for time with the top end speed they don't have. Yeah, Hamilton's saying, I'm in his DRS and I'm still not catching him. They are so draggy, even with the DRS open. They're trying to make up for time lost in the straights through the corners, which of course is going to take more out of the tyres. And it's just like a catch-22. They're just like, they're quick maybe initially for a couple of laps, and then yeah, it's just not a, you can't make that work over a race distance. So hopefully they can claw back in Vegas and Abu Dhabi. Yeah, we'll see, we'll see. I think that's pretty much it for Merck's chances. I think, look, even when Max doesn't start on pole, he has still that whole package that Max, Red Bull, like on the pit team, the fact they don't even have any reliability. There is nowhere that they generally don't have a chink in their armor, Red Bull. But they don't. Like, it is not just the most dominant car. Obviously, it's like not the fastest in history because of like regulation changes and stuff, but it is arguably the most dominant team package we've ever seen in F1. Like, name me, I think the only bad pit stop they've had, actually it wasn't even a bad pit stop, the only slow pit stop they've had this year that I can think of is Circuit the Americas a few weeks ago, where Max, but that was only because Max had to like roll into the pits and he had issues with his brakes. So, like, they don't make bad pit stops. Max doesn't make mistakes. He's super quick. The car's super quick. They're great on strategy. They're still ballsy on strategy. And they out-strategize everyone. How are you supposed... Like, as an opponent team, you just have to hold your hands up and go, they've just done it better. They've just done it better than us. Like, in every different aspect of F1. So, credit where it's due, whether you like them or not. Jesus, when will Lando win? I know. I mean, he's doing... You have to think. He is doing everything that he can possibly do at the moment. The car is much, much more improved. Quite clearly, they're the second fastest team at the moment. He needs a bit of fortune. For this season, with 2 races remaining, he needs a bit of fortune. Like we said, a mechanical failure for Red Bull, which doesn't happen. When was the last time they had a mechanical failure? Like, the start of last year when they had those engine blowouts? When they had those engine issues? Since then, I don't think they've had one retirement. I could be wrong. Max definitely hasn't had one retirement, I don't think, from due to a mechanical issue. Perez, of course, has binned it a few times. But, yeah. Can't forget Lewis winning Silverstone 2020 on a punctured tyre. Yeah. That was amazing, that. Right, so Ocon's fastest out on track with a 14.2 brand new softs. Perez, let's check on the Perez gap. He is now within the DRS of Fernando Alonso. So they are lapping around the same lap time. Perez slightly quicker at the moment. Does Perez have DRS through turn 14? He doesn't. Just lost it from Alonso through turn 12 there, under traction, of course, getting the full effect of the dirty air, being 1 second behind, but he has to go for this. Only 17 laps remaining in this race. So he is within DRS now, but did he get it as he crossed the activation line? He did, but he's too far back to have an opportunity down into turn 4. So Perez now needs to prepare and ensure he keeps enough of grip and life in his tyres to maximise that turn 12 exit. Tough though, tough when you are in the dirty air of the car in front, who is lapping at a similar pace there. 14.442 from Alonso and a 4.77 from Perez. So these two really going at it. And you know, Alonso, he wants this podium position, so he's not going to let this up easy. He is going to defend to his life's content. Here we go, Perez. Less than 5 tenths there, important for him. So this should be, I mean, if he doesn't lose too much out of turn 12, he's lost a tenth or so, but I think he's close enough here to have an opportunity down into turn 1. Here we go. Does he have enough? It would definitely be side by side, I think, with this distance that far back. Or is he just going to try and unsettle Alonso? Oh, he's definitely gone for it. He's definitely gone for a move there, but he's just holding station. He knows he's going to have DRS down into turn 4 again. But has he lost a bit of rear traction there? He's half a second behind Alonso, and I don't think that's enough for him to be able to have a go at Alonso down into T4. And Alonso showing his racing chops there and holding Perez off for another lap. And the longer this goes on, even though Perez had the fastest lap there, the longer this goes on and Alonso is able to keep Perez in the dirty air, the better of an opportunity Alonso has to maintain this podium position. Last time, 2022 was the last retirement for Red Bull. Oh, okay, yeah, I thought so. That's what I mean. It's been 2 years, nearly 2 years. So Verstappen first into the pits compared to Norris. Of course, Verstappen will be going on to, I imagine, a set of soft tyres. He's not going to be going on to a medium set to the end of the race. Maybe he will be. He has got a brand new set. We'll see. They're so good on the tyres. Yeah, there you go. He's actually using his... So he didn't use his brand new set of softs at the start of the race. He's just... Like, that's another thing as well, man. Like, Red Bull are so good on the tyres, they can pretty much, like, just choose what strategy they want to do. And they've always got brand new tyres available to use, rather than other teams who have used tyres to use in the race. So, sorry, guys. A froggy laundry room. Right, Perez once again not able to get past Alonso. Here we go. Is he going to be able to? This is just helping Alonso here, keeping Perez behind. Look at that, slightly slower this time around, Perez, compared to Alonso. Great to see, great to see. Maybe using his battery to hold off Alonso here, you'd imagine so. As Norris has now lapped his own teammate, which must hurt. Ricciardo out of the pits as well, on the back of his own teammate, Tsunoda. So Tsunoda in the points. Is he going to be able to catch Russell? He's on 4 old lap softs. He has 14 laps remaining to do so. Can he catch Russell and Hamilton, who we know their tyres on the softs die very quickly? I still think my bet... I still think... Not bet, because I didn't have a bet. I still think my... Oh, Russell's got an issue. Russell is going really slow, guys. Russell slow through turns 9 there. Has Russell got an issue? Has he got a puncture? What is up here? Russell going very, very slow through turn 11. He is trudging along, but I think this is going to be a retirement. Oh, yes, look. So, okay, we need to retire the car. Call the car where you can. Box, end of this lap. George Russell has an issue, and that is one Mercedes out of this race in what has been an absolute horrendous weekend for the Mercedes team. Really, really slow. Russell is going there. He's able to trudge along, but Tsunoda, the 2 AlphaTauris there, Ricciardo and Tsunoda ahead of Russell. Of course, Ricciardo is down a lap, but Tsunoda hoping to try and catch Lewis Hamilton, who is at the moment 13 seconds ahead. But as we said, we know that the Mercedes tyres do fall off very quickly. Although Hamilton did just do a 15-0, so not too bad considering from him. But yes, a very, very poor weekend for the Mercedes team. Has just been topped off there with a retirement for George Russell. Alonso is holding off Perez just about. Yeah, I keep for a number of laps now he's been able to do so. Perez hasn't been able to get past Alonso, and well, this kind of just... If this was Max Verstappen, how long would it have taken him to get past Alonso? This is kind of been the subject of discussion with Perez and Verstappen. Of course, we know Verstappen is in a league of his own compared to Perez. We know that, and there is kind of real no comparison. But if you had to compare the two, this is where would Max have stayed behind Alonso for so long? No, is the answer to that. No. So... Whether if that's due to strategy of using the battery and just like general overtaking and driving, overall Max would just not have been in, not have taken as long to get past Alonso. How many laps is Lando's tyres? He was on 29 old lap medium, 32 lap old mediums, and he's now on a set of used tyres. He will be to the end of this race. Unfortunately, he had no brand new tyres left to use, Lando, so that's why he's probably wanted to extend that set of mediums. As Perez has now got ahead of Alonso, they're side by side as they head through turn 1, and Perez is still behind Alonso here. Unbelievable defense from Alonso, but Perez will regain the DRS and have another opportunity as they head down into turn 4. Is he able to make the move stick? No! And Alonso defends once more. Unbelievable from this 42-year-old man driving at the top of motorsports in F1. Unbelievable. But can he do it for 12 more laps? That is the question. Regardless, this is a valiant effort from Fernando Alonso. The Aston Martins, who have had a really poor second half of this season, a bit more of the Aston Martin and Alonso that we saw at the start when he got those podiums. He truly wants this. He's not going to give it up easy. And well, we know Perez after Mexico needs to not bin this. Needs to make a clean overtake on Alonso. If he wants any sort of opportunity to be able to retain his seat for 2024. So here we go again, round 17, whatever it is, with Alonso and Perez. Perez once again not able to get past Alonso. Alonso really using his battery, I assume, to an absolute T. And, well, he's just staying ahead of Perez. And that 5 tenths back, that half a second back out of turn 3 into turn 4 just isn't enough. And Alonso, like Verstappen, like Lewis, when they're put under pressure, the top drivers just don't make mistakes. They hold their own. And that is what we are seeing right now. I'm not sure what was wrong with Russell's car. He was asked to lift and coast earlier on in the race, so most likely something to do with temperatures and maybe the engine, but possibly even the brakes. There's something there that obviously they've seen on a telemetry and they've had to make Russell to retire the car. But here we go, guys. Here we go. So Alonso, once again, are we going to see Perez maybe drop back just a little bit, just for a few laps, just to charge up his battery, try and make Alonso, try and out-sync Alonso's battery? Obviously, Alonso, without the DRS, is probably using his battery very well to hold off Perez. And maybe Perez needs to drop back just a little bit, try something a bit different, force Fernando Alonso to use the battery when he doesn't expect it, and then catch him vice versa on the lap where he can just use the extra charge when Fernando is recharging, per se, and get past him. He definitely dropped back just a little bit there. But at the moment, I mean, this is it from Perez. This is what you see from different drivers. Quite clearly, the same tactic hasn't worked for 10 plus laps. You need to try something different. You need to think, okay, how can I outfox this guy? Very difficult to do with Fernando Alonso, but you have to try. I'm scared Perez might crash into Alonso. Well, this is it. Do we see a last? I'm worried we might see a last-ditch attempt on the brakes on the inside of Alonso. But Alonso's a wiry fox. We know Alonso. He'll be checking his mirrors. He'll be seeing it coming. And I think if Perez does that, I think Alonso will very much be ready to do the cutback. As Perez is a second behind now. Is Fernando? We did say the longer Alonso keeps Perez behind, the better it will be for him. Of course, that sounds obvious, but the better it will be for him in regards to the latter stages of this race, because Perez will just be killing his tyres. The more he's in the dirty air, Alonso has slightly younger tyres as well. He'll be able to just increase his opportunity of getting this podium, which, to be honest, Alonso deserves. He had a very poor first start. He got a second chance with the restart after the red flag, and, well, he launched ahead of Lewis, and, well, he hasn't looked back since. Perez arguably does have the quicker car and has done very well today to gain 5 positions. But he's coming unstuck here. 1.12 from Lando. Yeah, it was a good lap time from Lando. I mean, to be honest, Max and Lando is a done deal now. Their race is over with. 8 laps remaining. Verstappen has won this race, barring an unbelievable mechanical failure, which just doesn't happen in the Red Bull. And Lando will be finished in second. So a good result for him, considering he was out of position in the qualifying. Let's see. Alonso, here we go. So Perez seems to be losing time in that middle sector. He cannot gain the time. Is this strategic? I don't know, because you can't like drop too far back now. He can't lose the DRS. There's no opportunity for him to call off the tyres at this moment in time. He has to keep the pressure on. But I think Alonso might have this. I hope that's not commentator's curse, guys. I hope that's not commentator's curse. But I think Alonso might hold on to this. 7 laps remaining pretty much once Verstappen crosses the line this time around. It's gotten boring, Verstappen winning every race. It has. Yeah, I won't lie to you. It definitely has. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's great for F1. It's not great for F1. It's probably the worst. Pure domination like this is bad for F1. It's bad for any sport. You don't mind if there's competition and that team still wins. I've said this. If Max won every single race, but he was made to fight for every single race, and it wasn't like him winning 20, 30 seconds every time, then I still wouldn't have an issue with that, because I'd be like, what a race that was. Like, he's not guaranteed to win every single race. Fair play to the guy. Like, he's doing, and still fair play to him now, obviously. He still has to get the job done out there. As Alonso holds off Perez for, again, another lap. However, him winning it and no one having an opportunity to even beat him because of the pace advantage they've got, it's overall it's not great for F1. And yeah, that's why we've seen social media figures drop. The viewing, they'll still say that the TV figures are higher, but they could be fudged. So it isn't boring if you focus on everything behind him, but in F1 and in motorsport, let's be honest, Monique, winning is everything. It is. Winning is everything. We want to see fights for the win. That's where it's most exciting. That's where the passion and the emotion is. Yes, podiums are interesting, but ultimately these guys want to win. People are trying to hype up the Perez and Lewis fight for second place in a championship. Hamilton doesn't care. Lewis doesn't care. Perez probably cares because it means he might retain his seat for next year. But other than that, they don't care. It's all about winning the championship and winning races. And if they don't get, like, and even as a viewer, like, that's what you want to see. That's where it gets most exciting. Generally. But here we go. So Perez again. When Lewis Hamilton was dominating, it wasn't boring. There were boring years, definitely. Was it 2017 or 2018? I think it was. No, 2019. There was definitely a couple of years when Lewis dominated. It was boring. However, what was different in those years was that Lewis never won more than 10 races. I think 10 or 13 races, I think, was the most he won, or 12, something like that. So, so he never won. His teammate chucked in, obviously, a few wins. Obviously, we had Nico Rosberg era. Or Perez is a bit closer this time. And like Bottas still, there were certain tracks where Bottas was strong. We still had the Red Bulls winning, Danny Ricciardo and Max in those years. We still had the Ferraris. So there was still competition there for other wins, and there was still some like very good races. Even the races that Mercedes won, some of them around a few years into the hybrid era, there was competition there. However, like this time around, Red Bull have just knocked it out of the park, and they're so much better than everyone else. But I mean, what cost cap penalty, guys? What cost cap penalty? They're so far ahead, it hasn't had an effect on them. That's why a ballast penalty for... Perez, very, very close there. A ballast penalty would have been a better enforcement of a penalty than a cost cap development penalty. That's just my opinion, because that's an immediate reduction in performance. Because I think every 10 kilograms of fuel is worth about 0.3 of a second per lap. So if you was to add, I don't know how many kilograms, but you know, like there's an actual penalty there for a certain amount of races, it would slow them down. But 2020 was the worst. Yeah, I mean, I must admit, My memory kind of doesn't serve me well for 2020. COVID, wasn't it? 2020 is a reason why my memory doesn't serve me well. Didn't want to focus. I was made redundant in that year. It wasn't particularly the nicest of years for me. So that's probably why I've shoved that to the back of my memory. But yeah, Perez has definitely fallen off here. I think Alonso might have this unless Perez is really going to charge up the battery and have a go in the last couple of laps. I think that's his only opportunity. But of course, Alonso will be able to do the same as well. You know, no doubt Alonso has probably got whiplash with the amount of times he's turned his head left and right looking in his rearview mirrors. And, well, we'll see if he's able to hold on to this. Will Perez put pressure on and stay tight through the middle sector? Five tenths here. He needs to be half a tenth, really, out of turn 12 with the assistance of DRS to have an opportunity into turn 1. I don't think it's going to happen into turn 4. He doesn't have the rear traction out of the first and second corner to stay tight with Alonso. It's going to have to be T1. It's going to have to be done in the middle sector. He's 6.5 tenths here, but watch that gap probably push out to 7 tenths there. Not enough. With Fernando Alonso using the battery, with Perez using the battery and the DRS as well, it's not enough. I don't think so. Oh, actually, maybe I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And I was right. And then you see here, his interval goes back out to 6 tenths again with the lack of rear grip he has through turns 1 and 2. And then he's just not able to get past turn 4, which is quite an easy corner to defend on the inside. You really do need overspeed and kind of need to be alongside that car to have an opportunity to get round of the defending car. It was raging when Australia was cancelled. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember when everyone was there for it. Strange times, guys. Strange times that was. We definitely lived through history. Why FA doesn't make regulations for equal engines now we know that Max will win? Because it's a development. Like the thing is about F1 is that it's also an engineering game as much as it is a driving game. Like in the day, there's like it's about making the best car and having the best overall team. Oh, here we go. Perez is closer than he's ever been in the last 10 to 15 laps. Here we go. Is this the moment where Perez is able to get past Alonso down into T1? This is it. Has he got past him? He has. He's got past Alonso with 2 laps remaining down into turn 2. But will Alonso go back at Perez? Has he got better tyres than Perez? DRS is activated. He's 2.5 tenths behind. He's definitely going to have a go. They're going to go side by side down into turn 4. And Alonso just doesn't have enough on Perez down into turn 4. It took him around 20 odd laps, but Perez has finally got past the Aston Martin of Alonso. Will Alonso come back at Perez though? Look at him. He's a tenth behind, 2 tenths behind. How quickly, how much battery has he used? Will Perez still be able to defend from Perez? Will Perez still be able to defend from Alonso even without the DRS? We will see. Alonso needs to be similar to Perez was last time around half a second behind, but he's losing time in the dirty air of Perez in that middle sector. It's all about turn 12 now. This is they're on the final lap. There will be really only 2 opportunities now. Down into turn 1, 7 tenths behind. Has he got enough? Has that Aston Martin got less drag than the Red Bull? I don't think it has. Here we go. Alonso. We know Alonso is feisty. Will he go for late on the brakes? No, he doesn't. Can he keep it tight through turn 1? Through the centre S's. Losing a little bit of time there. But he is tight. He does seem to get a better exit through turn 2 than Perez. This could be it. We could see him side by side through turn 4. DRS is open. Alonso and Perez side by side into turn 4. And Perez holds on to... No, he doesn't. Alonso is ahead of Perez down into turn 4 on the last lap. It's still not over and done with. Perez, can he stay close to Alonso through this tight middle sector? Obviously, all about the rear grip. We know that Alonso's been able to hold on to off to Perez. And Perez has got... Oh, he's really nearly ran into the back of Alonso there. There is one more opportunity for Perez. It's going to be a race to the finish line. Literally half a second behind. Oh, Perez had a go on the inside of Alonso into turn 10 there. Great racing from these two. Turn 12, here we go. Perez will not get DRS until turn 14, so we will not have an opportunity to pass Alonso down into T1. Here we go. It's a drag race down into across the finish line. Does Perez have enough with DRS open and the battery line? This side by side across the finish line. And who finished ahead? Alonso. Alonso held off Perez by 0.05 of a second. That is a nose across the finish line. Oh my God. What a last lap from Alonso and Perez, pretty much saving this race. I'm watching it back on the TV coverage now. We'll catch up with the finishing grid in a second. And what racing from Alonso and Perez. Oh, they nearly made contact. Unbelievable from both of them. Alonso, 42-year-old man. That was unbelievable racing down the back straight there into turn 4 from Alonso and Perez. Get away from Verstappen crossing the line, bloody TV director. Go back to Perez and Alonso. Oh my God, the TV direction is horrendous. The TV direction. I don't care about fireworks. I don't care about Max Verstappen. Get back. Oh my God, they're watching Lando cross the line. They missed the whole middle sector. They missed the whole middle sector of Perez and Alonso. Thankfully, someone decided to flick it back to Perez and Alonso as they went round the back straight. I just want to see how close this was. It was so close. Guys, I highly recommend everyone go and watch the highlights straight after this race, just for that last lap alone between Alonso and Perez, because that was unbelievable driving from both of them. Specifically Alonso there, guys. Unbelievable. Round of applause for Fernando Alonso. Round of applause. Guys, if you can hit that like button, it'd be much appreciated. I hope the commentary there was explainable enough for you in all of that. That was such a close finish between them across the line. Literal photo finish there. Great overtaking from Perez and Alonso on the last lap. Alonso with DRS. Oh, they nearly made contact on the last lap there down into turn 4. But there we go, guys. That is the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix. I hope you enjoyed that for what it was worth. It is, once again, as we have so often said this season, the 17th time. There's 7, but 17th time this season we have said Max Verstappen is your winner of a race this season. He's extending that record that he broke, that he set last year and has broken this year for the most wins in an F1 season. So first place for Max Verstappen. Lando, a respectable second place. Second place in the sprint. Second place in the race today. The nearly man. He must be getting fed up with those second places. Alonso, his first podium since Canada, as you guys informed me earlier on in the race. What a result for the Aston Martins with Stroll in P5 as well. A much better performance from them. The Aston Martin that we saw at the start of the year compared to the second half of the year. Perez in P4, so close to that podium finish. Only 0.05 of a second separating him and Alonso on the finish line there. Unbelievable racing from those two. Definitely the highlight of this race. Saved it, to be honest, guys. I think, let's be honest there. Gasly in 7th. Good result for the Alpine there. Up 8 positions. Hamilton rounding off what is a very poor week for the Mercedes with 1 retirement in George Russell and Hamilton in P8 there. Tsunoda, close but not close enough to overtaking a Mercedes in P9. A good result for him, up 7 positions. Ocon P9, so a double points finish for the Alpine. Sargent, fair play to him, up 8 positions into 11th. A lot of that came from retirements, but I suppose you need to keep it on track still. Hulkenberg 12th, Ricciardo and Piastri caught up in that first corner incident, 13th and 14th. And then we had Russell, Bottas, Zhou, Leclerc, Magnussen and Albon as retirees. Breathe. Oh, Jesus. Just in time, gonna watch Planet Earth 3. See you again, Stuffey. Yeah, thank you, Zed. Thank you, everyone, Thank you everyone who tuned in today. Much appreciated. We have only 2 races remaining now of this 2023 season. Las Vegas is next, the big one. Vegas, a lot of hype around that. That is in a couple of weeks' time. And then we have Abu Dhabi. But, yes, I think there's no way to say about it, is there? Driver of the day, guys? Fernando Alonso? Fernando Alonso. But go get my lamb. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a nice lamb roast. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, guys, please do. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time for the Vegas Grand Prix. No idea when it's on. So be sure to turn your notifications on so you can get informed of when I'll be going live. But yeah, really, probably one of the drabbest, dullest Brazilian Grand Prix we've had in recent times. It's a rarity at Interlagos, but it was a... Why are they showing a replay of Max Verstappen crossing the finishing line for first? Very odd. Very odd. They showed it, yeah, very strange. But yeah, there we go, guys. There we go. Yeah, if you can hit the like button, guys, it'd be much appreciated. On your way out, helps push the stream. People still find this channel after we have gone off of live, once we've closed down the stream. So yeah, big thank you, big thank you. But yes, I'm now going to go have dinner. I am absolutely starving. It was a very long race, that obviously with the red flag at the start, and the missus is probably digging into my lamb as we speak. So before it's all gone, I'm going to say goodbye and see you later. So yeah,